now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually...
Good morning, this is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 1 o'clock here on talkSPORT, where this morning, if you had a cheeky flutter on 4-1 Switzerland against Bosnia at half-time last night, then you can crown yourself the king of the punters, because I wouldn't have had a clue. Anyway, Andy, what's
That's
coming
very
up?
true. Anyway, Andy, what's coming up?
Yeah.
I'll read that bit instead.
Yeah.
Coming up over the next 3 hours, former Scotland striker Ross McCormack looks ahead to tonight's match against Morocco. Stan Collymore joins us from Dallas with his take on England's opener, and we'll peruse the Premier League fixtures with commentary owner Doug King and Hull coach Dean Holden.
We do want your TV formats for Portugal's Charlie Pickle, and our creature of the night was allocated Mexico-South Africa.
Oh, lucky. There's all this, plus former England and Quins fullback Mike Brown tells us about his impressive football connection, and we'll preview Royal Ascot and keep you in touch with the second test if we have to, and we'll even squeeze in some fresh clips of the week.
That's right, it is approaching 2 minutes past 10, and as promised, we do have the Premier League fixtures for you. Benty has kindly stuck around to give us his take on it.
It's very cold.
Max Scott's here with all the news. Max.
Yes, good afternoon, good morning.
Yeah.
I'm just used to you boys being
I know, it's
in the afternoon.
throwing me all the time.
That's in my head. But look, let's get into it. The Premier League fixtures are out. The season gets underway Friday the 21st of August. The first 2 games of the Premier League season, live and exclusive to national radio on talkSPORT. We start off on Friday night, kick off at 8 o'clock. Benty's champions Arsenal at home to Coventry City.
Oh, the randomness of that algorithm. How did that possibly
What a tough
happen?
start.
The supercomputer pulled that one out of the bag. That, of course, live on talkSPORT. Then the early game on Saturday, the 22nd of August, newcomers Hull take on Manchester United at home. And then I'm just going to run through the opening fixtures so everyone listening knows exactly who you've got on the first game of the season. 3 o'clock kickoff, Everton Crystal Palace on the Saturday. Newly promoted Ipswich Town without Kieran McKenna take on Sunderland. Then the mighty Nottingham Forest at home on the banks of the River Trent against Leeds United. Brentford at home against Tottenham in the what was known as the Thomas Frank Derby. Then on Sunday the 23rd of August, Brighton and Hove Albion at home to Aston Villa. Manchester City under Enzo Maresca, we believe, will take on Bournemouth. Newcastle United against Liverpool in the later kickoff on the Sunday. And then live exclusively on talkSPORT on Monday night, it's the derby in London, Fulham at home to Chelsea.
Fantastic. You're going to wait all weekend then for a game.
I hate that.
And it's a derby.
No, I do, because you don't feel like part of the weekend when it's Monday night.
Yeah, and it's the derby, Andy.
And it's the derby.
We're going to chat to Dean Holden very shortly.
What makes all this difficult is that both teams, for example, they've got new managers and new players, so it's hard to say how it might go.
True. But Darren, Arsenal Cov on a Friday night. I mean, it's we're going to have a chat with Doug King, the owner of Cov, later on. He's going to be delighted, I'm sure, with that, because like Hull, and Dean Holden's a big Manchester United fan when we chat to him, so he'll be chuffed with that. You want these games. That's why you want to be in that division, isn't it?
Yeah, you want the big games. I mean, it's always one where you think, could we have maybe a bit of an easier start? Because
you've been there as a player, haven't you?
Exactly. The last thing, certainly being a striker, and I wouldn't say a selfish one, but I'd like a few whipping boys at the start to get your confidence in, get a few goals.
Yeah.
But for Arsenal, their fixture, they'd look at that and go, yeah, it's a great fixture. But for Coventry, as you said, that's what you wait for.
Yeah, their fans are going to turn out. They're going to love it.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible.
All the Arsenal players will be flogged after the World Cup.
So, for Coventry, it's an incredible opening day fixture for them. But they know it's going to be difficult. But listen, Frank's done a fantastic job there. So he'll have them set up ready to go. But you'd expect Arsenal to win that.
And Ipswich, that's a tough start against Sunderland, who had a good season. So it's the Darren Bent derby.
Very much is.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. But Ipswich, last time they were up, their first 2 games of the season, Liverpool, Man City. This time around, obviously, you said they're Sunderland. But then they've got some tricky ones after that. I think they go to United. Yeah. Then they've got Liverpool. Then I think is it Fulham after that as well? No, Everton, then Fulham. It's a tough start again for Ipswich, but you've got to play them at some point, I guess. But just to see them back in the Premier League again, it's incredible.
You do fear a little bit for the 3 promoted sides. You always do, but last year they proved to go against the norm. But this year does feel tricky for them. But we'll see.
You've got to get off to a good start. I think that's the key. And you look at Sunderland when they got promoted, they had a couple of games in their winnable fixtures. I think they beat West Ham opening game last season 3-0. That gave them the confidence, but you've got to get off to a good start.
You've sorted out a few of the derbies for us. Very interesting that you've put the Arsenal and Manchester City games, Max. November the 28th, Arsenal City, and then January the 30th. So they're getting them out of the way quite early, the City-Arsenal games, if we think they're going to be the two main protagonists again next season.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some of the derbies and some of the big games. Of course, Arsenal City over the past few years has been massive. We don't really know what City are going to look like without Pep Guardiola. That's a big one. But I mean, the North London derby, Spurs at home to Arsenal, 5th of December. 1st of May is the return reverse fixture. Manchester derbies, Manchester United against Manchester City on the 12th of December. I mean, we can go on. United against Liverpool. Liverpool at home in that first derby at Anfield on the 21st
new manager, who knows?
of November. Yeah, Iraola again is a bit of a...
I'm looking at our fixtures and thinking, not going to get a win till the 12th of September.
Well, the Hawksbee and Jacobs derby, by the way. Chelsea at home to Tottenham on the 24th of October, and then towards the end of the season, Spurs welcome Chelsea on the 8th of May.
Yeah. Tottenham have got a weird run in. I think they've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United. They've got a bunch of very big teams. I say every season, I look at the last game and say that will be the one we need to stay up. And I do it for a joke every year. And this year we actually had to play Everton to stay up, so I won't be doing that.
I don't think that's going to happen again. When you look, I like what Spurs have done. The recruitment, all of a sudden, they've gone really, really.
That's if they get these players over the line. They're being linked. They've got some over the line, but they're being linked with some other players. Let's see if they get
I really like what they're doing, because this is not usually the usual Spurs way. They leave it late and then just what they can get.
Yeah.
But the fact he's gone so early, that Van Hecker, I think, is a really good signing.
Yeah.
And I like that he's building from the back forward.
Yeah, well, I think it was badly
Had
needed,
to.
certainly. Everybody likes a Boxing Day fixture. I've got them here, so maybe I'll do Max's job because you want to know if you're at home over Christmas. Okay, from the 26th, it says that at the moment, but that could obviously change for telly.
Yeah.
Villa, Leeds, Cov, Chelsea, Palace, Arsenal,
Frank Lampard.
Everton, Sunderland, Fulham versus Brighton, Hull City versus Liverpool, Ipswich v Brentford, Manchester United versus Max's Nottingham Forest, and Newcastle versus Manchester City. They are at the moment the Boxing Day fixtures. That's the one I tend to look at. And Tottenham Bournemouth. So we're at home for a change. I haven't been at home on Boxing Day for ages. So
No fixtures on the 28th. Oh, no, right. See, right.
yeah, that's right. I mean, look, it's a mad old time of year and stuff gets moved around for telly. But that's so you know if you're going to be at home or away over the Christmas period. At least you know now.
This is good news as well, isn't it? Because last season we only had one Boxing Day fixture, the fewest since the Second World War.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if they all get shifted, man. Same thing happens.
We live in hope. We live in hope.
Seen here, though, Chelsea are away on the 26th.
Yeah.
And then they're also away on the 30th. So both Christmas fixtures, they're away. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, okay.
Really enjoyable.
What a miserable
festive fixture.
Christmas.
What's wrong with this computer?
Yeah, that's right. Manchester derbies, 12th of December, Manchester United City, and then City versus United over in March. So, yeah, an intrigue. I mean, look, as we say, as you just said, you've all got to play everybody. But you're right. And it was interesting getting a player's perspective on that, thinking, I might have liked an easier start so I can get my eye and get a couple of goals, get some confidence. Because, if you're one of the Coventry front line, it's not going to be an easy evening, is it? Really?
Exactly. You want to start, certainly if you're a striker and you're going into this game, you're thinking, right, just hit the ground running early, get a couple of goals, confidence is up, fans are looking at me thinking, oh, he can score goals in the Premier League. But when you come up against Gabriel and Saliba,
Although on the other hand, it's a good time to play one of the top teams the first game of the season because they will have players coming back from the World Cup late.
Big night for Victor Gyökeres as well, where he sort of cut his teeth there and built a reputation. So it'll be great for him, wouldn't it?
He's obviously left Coventry, gone on to do great things at Sporting Lisbon, and is now Premier League champion. He's done really well. 3 league titles in a row. I mean, he never would have said that leaving Coventry.
No, absolutely. Time weird derbies as well. I think the fans up there want to know what's going on.
Yeah, so first up, Newcastle at home to Sunderland, 5th of December, and then the return leg, Sunderland-Newcastle, 1st of May towards the end of the season. That's the
revenge required there.
And the Merseyside derby's quite close together, Max, aren't they?
Yeah, quite a few of them are, actually. We've got sort of some November, January, December, February fixtures. Everton-Liverpool, 28th of November. Liverpool-Everton, 30th of January. 2027.
I wish the process was a bit more open, that you could see exactly how the computer did this and they showed you working it all out. Because it is very complicated, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certain people can't be at home when other people
I don't want to be a cynic, but I'm guessing someone from Sky's sitting there at the Premier League and they say, well, the algorithm says the first night will be Brentford versus Leeds on a Friday night. And they say, I think you find it isn't. Maybe you want to
refresh.
Maybe you want to run that again. No, let's run it again. 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Oh, Arsenal versus Coventry.
That's better.
That sounds like it. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with that one then. Of course not. That's not how it works.
I don't know what you think about it. Might be a good idea to go through the promoted sides. We've got Hull, Ipswich and Coventry. Hull have got United at home, Coventry away, Villa at home, first 3 games of the season. Ipswich have got Sunderland at home, Manchester United away, Liverpool at home. And then Coventry, I think they've got the most difficult task. Arsenal away, Hull at home, Manchester City away. So baptism of fire for Frank Lampard in the Premier League.
Yes, but that gives one of those 2 promoted teams a chance to get 3 points early. That's, they play each other. So
And
that's good.
playing promoted teams early in the season is generally, it's like they're like cup matches, they're like FA Cup games, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that
They haven't been worn down yet.
No, they haven't been. They haven't had their backside handed to them in a couple of games.
And confidence is on the floor, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit of optimism.
Final day. I was sort of joking about needing to stay up on the last day to my cost last year. What are the final day fixtures? Because I think fans are often interested in that. I think, what's going to happen? What do we need?
Can we win the title? Can we stay up? Can we get Europe? Let's go for it. Final day of the season, booked in for the 30th of May 2020.
At least we know they're all going to kick off.
We know that they're all kicking off at the same time.
Yeah.
So Arsenal, Brighton.
I can see the Guard of Honour already, the old Brighton players.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Brighton, Villa, Spurs, Chelsea, Brentford, Coventry, Forest, Palace, Leeds, Hull, Newcastle, Ipswich, Everton, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Andoni Areola on there, Manchester United, Fulham, Sunderland, Man City. They're the fixtures for the final day of the season.
So Everton at Portman Road, do you think you can stay up based on that?
Yeah,
Gone a bit early there.
Not harsh there.
Of course not.
I'd like to think so, but they're going to have to. It's really important to see who replaces Kieran. I think that's the big thing. They need to make that decision early. Get the players in you want. Get the players out you want. But I believe Ipswich can stay up. Was more hope than anything.
Have you got a kind of feeling about a team next of the 3 promoted sides, Darren? Who do you think's going to do the best?
Only because of experience, and Ipswich have been there more recently.
Yeah.
I think they'll have learned from the mistakes they made last time. But then with Frank Lampard, I'm a big fan of Frank.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good manager. I think sometimes he doesn't get the rubber degree in terms of what he's done. So I think maybe 2 could stay up, I think 2. The whole I'm not convinced about. I wasn't convinced about them getting promoted, even in the playoff final, which is arguably the worst game ever.
Well, that means 2 other teams going to get
even as good as that.
No, exactly. I think Hull may struggle this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dean Holden's listening now, so he'll be taking it.
One of the
up with you
traditional
later.
big powers will struggle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Just finally, Max, let's just sort of recap. We just brought you the fixtures. They only came in at 10 o'clock, so let's just kind of recap for everybody where we're at.
So where we are is talkSPORT have got live exclusive commentary of the first 2 games of the season. Arsenal welcome Coventry to the Emirates. In the early kickoff on the Saturday, it's Hull at home to Manchester United on the opening day of the season. Then you've got Everton, Palace, Ipswich, Sunderland, Forest, Leeds, Brentford, Spurs on the opening Saturday, Brighton, Villa, City, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Liverpool on the Sunday, and then ending that opening weekend, the London derby, Fulham against Chelsea. And just an interesting fact that I've noticed going through this, we've already heard Andy complaining about 2 away games over the Christmas period for his Chelsea. Fulham are going to play all 3 promoted sides consecutively twice in one season.
Wow.
So you could, it depends, right? If one of the promoted sides, like you say, Ipswich, go on a run like Sunderland, that'll be a tough game. But on paper, for whoever comes in, whether it's Arbeloa, whoever comes into Fulham, you've got 6 fixtures there, back-to-back, where you can gather a little bit of momentum. So maybe the supercomputer has been shining down, not the footballing gods anymore.
No.
The supercomputer has been looking down favourably on Fulham.
Quite a lot of Cov fans getting in touch. Didn't Quinny score a hat-trick, Mickey Quinn, on the opening day when Cov last played Arsenal, JT in Essex? Says that, Justin in Malvern. I think he did. It was his great claim fame, wasn't it, Mick?
Yeah.
So, who are West Ham playing? This is the day you can do your band.
Yeah.
We've already had a pop at our exec producer. You've already done that, Andy.
did
So
one, yeah.
if you've got a little window. It's like April Fool's Day. Don't you have till lunchtime? This do have a little bit of bants with the teams that have gone down, but then you got to park it and let them get on with it. Brilliant, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for sticking around. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
All of you two,
Enjoy
guys.
all the football. So there we are. Thank you, Max. Top work. We'll hear from you later. So. That's all the fixture news for you. And so we're going to speak to some of the people involved. Doug King, the Coventry owner, is going to join us for a chat a little bit later on this hour. We'll see what he makes of that start away at the Emirates. But as we said, that's what it's what he put his money in for. It's what he dreamed of. It's what he wanted the club to be. So it's great for him and the Coventry fans and players. But before that, Dean Holden joins us, and he is a massive Manchester United fan and assistant head coach at Hull City. And of course, it's Hull City versus Manchester United live on talkSPORT on the first Saturday of the season. So I'm sure he'll be bouncing off the walls, Dean. We'll catch up with him very, very shortly. Lots of World Cup still to come, of course, reflecting on last night, looking ahead to Scotland, and a whole lot more besides Ross McCormack joining us for a chat in the first hour. But we're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Neil, yesterday we had another French legend in the studio in Emmanuel Petit, and I asked him, no, in fact, I didn't even ask him, he just offered it to us. He said that he thinks Mbappe is more important than Henry was to France. Who do you put above the other on that list? Who's a better player? Who's more important?
I think Mbappe is the main man. He's the guy for France, and actually he's had some tough time at Madrid this season, but with France, he's always there and he's always playing well. And I think when you look at the stats, he's got already like 14 World Cup goals, yes. 58 goals for France. So he's the top scorer of all time. I've backed him from the start, and I believe he's got a big desire to prove like all the people wrong after his tough season, I'd say, at Madrid.
I remember as a kid growing up watching France, you had the great Michel Platini playing, who I think is possibly the best French player of all time. Is that how you guys see it over in France? Who is number one on your list?
It's hard to say, because I feel like most of the time great players are being recognized more when they retire. And I think that's kind of what happened with Mbappe when, he was playing for Paris. Like he was criticized a lot, but then we left him, and the League One in France is not the same with or without Mbappe, and I think that will happen to him. And I believe we've never had a player coming from very young age, like doing the things that he's done already. He's one of the World Cup. He scored so many goals. And so I think he will be number one on the list for sure, but that will probably happen at the end of his career.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Minster Paul making the point, as you did, Andy, that with a World Cup, lots of top clubs will have players back at different times, so new clubs might be best to have the big clubs early in the season, as they may not be full strength.
Absolutely.
A good point, Paul, and something that we may pick up on now. As soon as the fixtures came out, knowing that the assistant head coach of Hull City, Dean Holden, was coming on, and he's a massive Manchester United fan, I wonder when they've got United. Lo and behold, live on talkSPORT, 12:30, the first Saturday of the season. I'm sure he's very excited. He joins us now. Are you, Dean?
I'm just going to have to get those headphones from
you. Go and do that.
Morning, fellas.
Yeah, wow. What about the Dean Holden derby? First out the hat.
Dean Holden derby. Yeah, at the last count, they've been announced, 20 minutes ago? I've got 47 ticket requests up to now. But most of them I've not spoke to for months, so if they're listening to this now, it's friends and family only.
You'll find out who your real friends are, Dean, won't you? Because everybody, not necessarily did they want tickets for Preston, but suddenly in the Premier League, they're going to want tickets every week, aren't they?
Very true, yeah.
Yeah. So,
with respect to Preston, yeah, what a great game for us.
It's I mean, it is brilliant. What a great way to start off. And Benty was just saying just now, Darren Bent, that as a player, sometimes you think, well, wouldn't mind maybe a bit of an easier start as a striker to get a couple of goals and get my eye in. But from the fans and for the club, as I said, this is why you put all the hard yards in to get in the Premier League for games like this, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we had obviously knows an incredible season last year to get promoted. Most people, I was sat doing an interview at a similar time last year talking about the Championship fixtures, and people were having us to be one of the relegation favourites. So what the club did this season to get promoted is nothing short of incredible. And to then see the fixtures come out this morning, it just all seems very real. Obviously, the first days and weeks after getting promoted, you're on such a high, and then you start to go, okay, we need to get back down quickly. A couple of days after Wembley, we need to get back to work, look at recruitment and stuff. And then when the fixtures come out, I mean, not just the United one, I think four of the first 5 games, obviously Coventry come up with us, who had a great season under Frank as well, but they've got United, Villa, Chelsea and Newcastle in them first 5 games, so
yeah,
it's going to be a great start for us, really exciting.
Yeah,
exactly. Sunderland showed the importance of a good start last year, and points on the board, you just can't beat it in the Premier League. It's amazing what a difference. I mean, even Spurs, when they won those first few games, it probably saved them.
It probably did save them, yeah. I mean, the Sunderland, I mean, so when they had that little fallow period, players at AFCON and stuff, they were able to ride it out, and they were okay, Dean. So yeah, I'm sure that'll be a message to the players. Let's make a fast start. And when Hull came up the Premier League a few years ago, they did exactly that, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And Sunderland got the work done early, didn't they? As you say, by Christmas, when they started to have a little bit of a tougher period, they've got the points on the board by that time. So it's obviously a long season. It's going to be new for a lot of people inside the club. It's been a long time since the club has been there. I'm sure the supporters obviously can't wait for the first game as well. This is a fantastic date in the football calendar, isn't it? So we're just excited. We're happy to be there. We're not going to turn up as guests and turn up at Old Trafford and Stamford Bridge and all these wonderful stadiums and go there and take videos and pictures and be happy to be there. We'll recruit a squad that we feel will be capable to give us a chance of staying up. And as you just said there, the teams that came up last year, I think, have bucked the trend, in fairness, in the last sort of 5 or 6 years of the Premier League. So there's good examples for us to follow.
I know this is a decision above your pay grade, Dean, but your owner has admitted and he's quoted as saying that you've overspent. We need to sell some players by the 1st of July. It's not ideal preparation from the coaches and the manager's point of view, is it? So it's going to be maybe a tricky couple of weeks for you before you can kind of get going.
Yeah, I thought that'd be your first question. In fact, I can't believe you left it to question 5.
Well, I started with Manchester United.
You've softened me up a little bit with that United fan one, and then hit me with that. No, listen, Ashton's gone on record, and that's one of the reasons he's such a fantastic owner. His heart and soul is in the club, and his communication in terms of with supporters is second to none. So, yeah, we've got a little bit of work to do, of course. You've got to remember, 4 days into pre-season training last year, we got hit with a transfer embargo that nobody saw coming. So that was a hammer blow at that point, and we managed to overcome that. So I'm sure, we've got fantastic experience inside the club underneath Adrian in terms of Jared and the sporting director and guys around them sort of areas of the club. So yeah, I'm sure it'll get sorted pretty soon, and we can focus on the ones coming in.
There are different approaches, aren't there, to when you come up. You do what Sunderland did, which is spend
that's true
a lot of money, and Forest have done it in the past to build a big squad. Then you have those periods of those Sunderland rode out very well to get those players to adapt to the Premier League. Or you don't take it that way. You're a bit more cautious. I mean, what's your expectation, Dean?
Yeah, I mean, them conversations are still ongoing. We're getting sent players obviously on a daily basis. We've got our targets. We had a Championship list, we had a Premier League list, and then as soon as we get over the line, we were obviously focused on the latter. And that's changing by the day because agents are coming in with different players, and As you said there, it's remiss of me to start talking about finances. Not only because it's in my contract, I'm not allowed to do so. So I don't want to be walking away with P45.
I don't want to get the blame for that.
No, we'll let you go. I was
but
saying,
what I would say, there's been great examples in recent years when Chris got Sheffield United up in that first year. I don't think off the top of me, I'd spent a load, and when he kept the nucleus of the group that had got them there, I think Luton had a right good goal. So that'll be down to the club in terms of the finances. That's my wife trying to ring me. I don't know why it's coming through.
Okay, she wants tickets for the United game, Dean.
She's probably only just found out we've got them. That's what she's like.
I was saying though earlier that playing fellow promoted side gives both of you an opportunity to get 3 points on the board. You know, that's a pretty key fixture early on.
Yeah, the Coventry one. Yeah, we had 2 great games against them. We played them first game of last season, funnily enough, at their place, drew 0-0. And the amount of goals they went on to score, particularly in that first half of the season, we were looking at ourselves going, we've done great there to get a clean sheet, because you never quite know at that point who's going to be up there. And then we got a 0-0 at home as well, so 2 good draws. Frank was very complimentary towards Sergei in the way that he put the squad together, so that'll be one I'm sure they're both looking forward to, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's all kind of pretty real now, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure you've had a great summer after the playoff, but when you see him come out half an hour ago, it all feels pretty real, Dean, I guess.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Excitement's building. As I say, we've got so much work to do, so we've got to keep our focus on that. But certainly, as it edges closer towards pre-season training, the World Cup is obviously taking a lot of the attention, but we're fully focused on trying to build a squad that gives ourselves every chance of not just being in the Premier League, but staying there and being that type of club that is almost everyone's second favourite club, where they enjoy watching us play. You know, routine, we play on the front foot, we play forward, we run forward a little bit. I wouldn't compare us anywhere at the quality of a Bournemouth, but that type of style, I suppose. So I'm sure plenty of Premier League fans will be wondering what Hull City are going to bring to the Premier League, and hopefully we can put some points on the board and smiles on our supporters' faces as well.
And finally, what have you got planned for pre-season? You're abroad. Where are you off to for your fixtures?
We're going. It's not been announced yet. So again, I've had a message this morning to say make sure you don't just go shouting your mouth off. So we are going abroad. We're not going to Turkey this year. We've been there. I believe the club's been there under Ajan for the last few years. We had a great trip to Istanbul last year, but we're changing it up this year. So halfway through pre-season, we'll have I think 10-11 days. And some good fixtures to be announced as well.
Fantastic. And I was just going to ask, how many players have you got at the World Cup? Have you got a few? Or?
We just got the 2. We thought Mo Baloumi might have got it in the Algeria squad, but we've got Liam Miller's in with Canada. Started the first game, and Amir, don't ask me to pronounce his surname, with Bosnia.
Right. Okay.
Hazmir Hemzic.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Well, look, good to talk to you, Dean. Give our best to Danielle. You can call her back now, and we'll hopefully catch up with you during the season. All the best. Take care.
Cheers, fellas.
Thanks, Steve.
See you soon.
Dean Holden, the Hull City assistant head coach.
The excitement, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. I think it's great for even, I mean, I'm viewing it slightly differently this year because, I'm sort of, the listeners have been sending in their bants about, West Ham got and all that, but for the grace of God and all that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's made me appreciate it even more after what happened to us last season. I think Spurs are in a good position because De Zerbi came in and had that last few games where the players know what he wants. They responded to him. They're adding players. They're buying early. I think they'll have a decent season. Yeah. Whereas one game a week will make a big difference. Yeah. Well, it should do anyway.
With us, it's hard to sort of. I can't be pessimistic, but I can't be optimistic either because I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't know what Xabi Alonso is going to be like. So it's more of a difficult thing to predict.
I'd be surprised if he's a dud. I mean, I think he's proven he's a pretty decent man. And you can't judge him on Real Madrid. Really. You can't judge anybody on that, really.
No, even below you can't.
Let's hope. Are you happy? Aren't you happy? Let us know. We're going to get right into the World Cup very shortly. What's this? This has come from Cov. This is Paul's back. He says, during the Coventry Wrexham game last season, Coventry fans were singing, "We're playing Arsenal, you're playing Tottenham." Half came true.
Yeah, it did.
That's very true on the first day of the season. How do you feel about the fixtures? I mean, look, you have got to play everybody, but good starts, as Andy was saying. Your Boxing Days, whatever it is, your reaction to the fixture list, 03717 22344, talksport.com, text 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. As we said, we're getting stuck right into the World Cup. Scotland, Morocco tonight at 11 o'clock. Ross McCormack will be joining us, the former Scotland striker, to look into that.
Donald Trump has been given license to join the World Cup winners in their trophy lift, just as he did, as you remember, at the Club World Cup. The US president has already been told by FIFA, we want you, President Trump, to hand over the trophy to the eventual champions. I mean, I wonder, what does that look like as far as you're concerned? Is it right and proper that Trump, of all people, should be right in the middle of it all come the trophy lift?
I think it would be hugely popular if England were to win the trophy, if Trump wrestled the World Cup off Harry Kane and began to do a little conga. I think everyone in Britain would share my view that that would be absolutely magnificent. No, I think it's got the potential to be quite embarrassing, but I think that Trump is quite savvy about the reaction to what happened with the World Club Championship. If he's not, his son Barron is, because his son Barron loves football, loves our football. He's actually an Arsenal fan. And I think he will probably have a quiet word with the old man and say, look, Dad, it should you get the trophy anywhere near you, don't try and grab it.
Well, as you know, Simon, who's right beside me here, always says politicians should stay out of football. So, Simon, why should they make an exception for the president?
Because you have to manage this man. Whether you disagree with his principles or you agree with them, it's kind of irrelevant. In my ideal world, would have politicians nowhere near sports. So when the German politicians yesterday were saying they weren't going to come because they disagree with certain aspects of Trump's outlook, I said, hallelujah, more of that. The situation with Trump has a relatively unique feel about it because Trump is such an omnipotent character that it does add to the argument. But if I had my ideal world, I would be saying Trump nowhere near it.
We have our first qualifier for the World Cup knockouts, and it's the popular co-hosts.
México, México, México. Cerveza, tequila, mucho tequila.
Mexico got a 1-0 win over South Korea thanks to a clanger from keeper Kim Sung-gyu.
As he came to get it, he stumbled, he dropped the ball, and it's been volleyed into an empty net. And out of nothing, completely out of nothing, Mexico have taken the lead.
Meanwhile, Canada are all but through to the last 32, but they've lost midfielder Ismail Kone to a horror injury.
It was right in front of us and everyone could hear the bone snap. So, you know, your heart goes out to him and everybody's a little shaken by the whole experience.
Coach Jesse Marsh was in tears when it happened. Kone's in hospital for surgery on his leg. Canada beat 9-man Qatar 6-0. Also in Group B, Switzerland took a giant stride towards the knockouts, beating Bosnia 4-1. And the Premier League fixtures for the upcoming season are out. You can find them all at talksport.com.
Good morning, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. The Premier League fixtures are out and we've just been perusing them with, amongst others, Dean Holden. Doug King, the owner of Coventry, will be joining us. In case you missed it, they get underway against Arsenal at the Emirates on the opening evening, Friday evening, live on talkSPORT.
Yes, and David Dowling has DM'd me on my Instagram. He made a very good point that we hadn't picked up. There's an international break. You know, we all hate the first international break.
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks. It's from September the 20th to October the 10th.
That's right. They're squeezing loads of games in, aren't they? We think hydration breaks break momentum.
The last thing you need after a World Cup is a 3-week international break. It is poor, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're just trying.
That's going to drive us all mad.
I think what
Is
they've
it
done,
the Nations League or something.
they've amalgamated 2 of the windows, so they take one of them out, and they think it's a bit like ripping a plaster off.
I suppose.
Thanks,
David. That's a good point.
Now, Scotland are in action tonight. Very much looking at, and it's a doable hour for most of us.
Yes,
11 o'clock, I think, on a Friday night. Most of us can probably manage that. Very much looking forward to it. We saw what a decent...
We'll be like the Scotland fans, basically.
Yeah. Do we not get a bank holiday on Monday? That would be pushing it, wouldn't it? I think.
A little bit, yeah.
So Scotland, Morocco. Brilliant start for Scotland, and let's hope they can build on it. Joining us now, the former Scotland striker Ross McCormack. Hi, Ross.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah, not so bad. Before we get into that, you're involved in the Red Bull soapbox race. You're part. Now I'm looking at this. It's Villa, Leeds, Newcastle, Fulham, Everton, and Palace are all involved. You could have represented 3 of those, but you've thrown your lot in with Fulham, haven't you?
Yeah, I could have had my pick.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to it. Something completely different, and it just sounds like great fun. So why not?
Yeah, it's sold out apparently.
It is. It's at Alexander Palace. You can watch it live on Samsung TV Plus on the day. But did you have as a kid? Did you have your own go-kart as a kid? Was that a thing you did?
Yeah, and there's a reason why I'm not allowed to drive the soapbox.
The things we used to do. We used to take a go-kart. It was a hill when I was growing up around Stoke Newington, and it was just this ridiculous hill. But we used to take a go-kart, and at the end of it was the River Lee. There was no stopping you.
Really?
It's like, the
brakes.
It was the sort of things we used to do as kids then. Well, I'm a bit older than you, Ross, but honestly, health and safety gone mad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably the reason why I'm not allowed to drive the soapbox. Something to do with the insurance. Can't be trusted. Cannot be trusted.
Could be. So, yeah, 52 teams with all those football clubs represented, as we said. Saturday the 20th of June. Well, tomorrow, you can watch it on Samsung TV Plus. It's live at Ali Pally. If you're going along, have a great time. So, tonight, we sort of briefly spoke after the last game. You do expect, really, it won't be a 4-4-2. I mean, we saw what Morocco were about. And, I think just one up and a bit more in midfield could be key tonight, couldn't it?
I think so, yes. Probably looking at the squad, I'd expect Ryan Christie to come in and maybe move McTominay into the sort of number 10 position because...
Whether he's more effective, and we didn't see a lot of him in the first game, did we?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Scotland over the last few years, especially under Steve, have probably been suited more to, their style of play is probably more suited with teams who take the game to them, and they can sit and soak up and then hit in the counter attack. So there's a change of mindset against Haiti the other night in the sense that Scotland were expected to take the game to them, which they're not usually expected to do. So it was always going to be a tough one, but the main thing is that they got over the line. Whether that was 1-0 like it was, a little bit nervy towards the end, or like everyone expected, 3 or 4-0, which was always going to be difficult at the World Cup. But they got over the line, and that sets them up well for these next 2 games, which are going to be super tough.
I was watching Steve Clarke's press conference, Russ, and I wouldn't say he was optimistic. I'd say more realistic. I mean, he sort of stressed how good Morocco are, or how decent they've been for a very long time, and how much this is a difficult fixture. I mean, you could say it was a bit negative, but that's the way he was looking at it, I thought.
But that's just the way Steve Clarke is, isn't it? You don't know if he's happy or sad, or that's just his demeanour. So I try not to take too much from the press conferences with Steve, but listen, he knows what opportunity he's got. It's important. Do you know what I think? It's important to show that they've learned a lesson, because I think especially in the last Euros, they had a chance in the last game. If they go and beat Hungary, they can qualify, and they sat in far too long before having a go. I think it was maybe 85 minutes before they had a go. I remember watching it on TV thinking, I'd rather get beat 2 or 3-0 here. Go out with a fight.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that over the course of the next 2 games. Just at some point, if you've got to, go and have a go against these teams. Go down swinging.
The thing is, I guess, all really Scotland need is a point. They get a point they're effectively. Well, they will be through. They're the way this.
I think the Brazil game, ironically, represents more of a chance.
Yeah. Sit in a low block, try and keep them out. We saw how good they are on the counter attack. They got a lot of pace. We saw they made mugs a couple of occasions, certainly for their goal out. Two of the world's best centre halves. So there would be a temptation just to think, they're sitting deep and tough it out and try and get a draw. But that's dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, it's dangerous against anyone to have that mindset. But I think realistically, you're probably forced into that during the game, aren't you, with how good the opposition are? So it's important not to get frustrated. Stay within your shape. What you don't want is guys breaking rank and going pressing here, there, and everywhere just because it's a World Cup. You've got that adrenaline inside you. You've got to stick to the game plan. But the boys are experienced enough now. They know exactly what they're going to have to do. And I think it will be that, 50, 60, 65, 70 minutes sitting in, and then keep it 0-0 as long as possible and then have a go.
And the fans in the stadium, I would imagine, probably will outweigh the Moroccan fans. There's so many Scottish fans.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it should be a brilliant atmosphere for the game, I think.
Yeah, and I think I was reading something before I came on. The Scotland national anthem the other night has produced the highest level of decibels in any World Cup game ever. So that sums the Tartan Army up. Especially when they've been drinking all day, they're going to be loud, but they deserve it. It's as much for the fans as the players as well, these occasions, isn't it? They follow in their numbers over the years, and they deserve occasions like this.
Absolutely.
Ali Ross, who's with the Tartan Army, sent me a little story. You may have seen it, Ross, of where some of the guys have been staying over there. And the guys have been staying in a convent to make it doable. And they've been teaching the nuns in the convent all the songs. No Scotland, no party. They've been going. We got McGinn, Super John McGinn. It's quite a weird little clip. It's probably worth looking. But it's just, I'll talk about making friends wherever they go. I was reading today the Tartan Army. A lot of them have been staying in Rhode Island. So the mayor of the local area said today we were honoured to meet the Tartan Army, who donated $10,000 to the Hasbro Children's Hospital as a thank you for our city's hospitality during their stay. So
what a fantastic thing to do.
They've gone above and beyond. They are doing you proud, aren't they, Ross?
Yeah, what a gesture that is. I wasn't sure where you were going there when you started talking about teaching nuns things. I was a little worried there, but
just the songs, yeah.
Yeah, no, what a gesture. And that's the Tartan Army. I think everyone loves them all over the world. Everywhere they go, they have a great time, never cause any trouble. And then just to top it off now, they're donating thousands of pounds. Unbelievable.
Well, enjoy the game tonight, Ross, and no doubt we'll catch up with you next week in the aftermath, when hopefully you'll have that point you need and be looking forward to the next stage. So have a good weekend. All the best.
All right. Cheers, guys. Take care.
There we are, Ross McCormack, and he'll be part of Fulham's team, as we said, at the Red Bull Soapbox race at Ali Pally tomorrow. Gates open to the public at 11:30. Lots of stuff going on. Starts at 2, and it's on Samsung TV Plus. If you want to represent your football club. I'll give you the other clubs, didn't I? I told you who the other teams were. Yeah, Newcastle, Villa, Palace, Everton, Fulham, Leeds. They're all involved. It's live on talkSPORT, of course, this evening. Goes without saying all the games are. But we'll be bringing you Scotland's match this evening. Our team is Natalie Sawyer hosting, Joe Shannon and Mark McGee, the former Scotland assistant manager. The big question, of course, is how many flakes will Gordon Strachan get through during the game? He told us at the last game, well, we learnt at the last game, he got through, he watched it in bed, the last match, at 1:30, with 4 Cadbury's flakes. He went through all 4 of them.
He won't be in bed this time.
Mrs. Strachan wasn't impressed.
No, he'll be staying up.
So 11 o'clock, I wonder, let's see what sort of... See if we can get Gordon on Monday and ask him if it was if it was very tense at the end. He went into his 5th flake. We'll find out. Anyway, Doug King joins us. Very excited, I'm sure. The Coventry City owner. They kick off the Premier League on talkSPORT on the first Friday of the season at the Emirates. So we'll be chatting to Doug in a few moments' time. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. We had a nervy 5-10 minutes opening, and a bit of a nervy first half and stuff. I think we need to communicate a bit more with the back four, between the back four and the midfield.
Yeah.
But I could see the high press, and I like the way Pickford was like, acting as a little bit of a sweeper and sucking their players in, so we could create some gaps in the midfield. I think the only way, and second half, I think we were superb, but I think the only way we're going to win this World Cup is there's two things. Firstly, obviously keeping Kane fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely imperative. And the second thing is we will win most of our games from the 70th minute onwards with the attacking players we have on the bench.
Yeah.
It's almost like an embarrassment of riches. Attacking, exciting players. I like the way he just made 3 changes.
Yeah.
And they were positive changes. But
he brought on, when you're bringing on, he brought on Morgan Rogers, Saka, and Rashford. I mean, when that Croatia must have been thinking, oh, here we go. I mean, and other teams watching that going, God, you know what? They have got a lot of good players, and they come on. And not only that, are they athletes. I thought Jed Spence was fantastic when he come on as well. Yeah. Quick, athletic, good 1v1, driving forward. And, look, as the tournament goes on, we're going to be playing in different climates. It's going to be hot. What I saw in the last 20 minutes, we look good.
The only thing I'll say on that is that Croatia were chasing the game. And if we're losing 1-0 and those subs you just mentioned come on,
Inside Series on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Watch the latest Inside Series episode live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel now. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Time now to check out the latest episode of Inside England with Ollie Klink, Rory Jennings and Flex. In this episode, the boys react to the 4-2 victory over Croatia, and Rory Jennings noticed some big differences between Thomas Tuchel and Gareth Southgate.
Talked so much, didn't we, about whether it would be Bellingham or Rodgers, and they end up on the pitch together. Following that, you get Reece James moving into midfield, and I think you're right, Rory, to point out the bravery of the situation, because I think in years gone by, you might have been calling a Jordan Henderson off the bench, and also, not that he's a bad player, but you might have been calling a Kobbie Mainoo off the bench. This instead was, no, they're there for the taking. Let's go and have
it was daring, bold, brave, risky, and it might go wrong. But what it isn't cowardly. It isn't negative. You aren't bringing on... Do you know what Southgate does? Probably at 2-2, goes, that'll do. And on comes Dan Burn. On comes Dan Burn, and we go 5-8. And do you know what then probably happens? Kovacic scores.
Yeah.
And then we've got no answer because it's all gone wrong.
There we are.
Brilliant.
Don't forget, you can watch all the latest Inside Series episodes live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel. That's all thanks to BetMGM, 18+, begambleaware.org.
Inside Series on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Watch the latest Inside Series episode live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel now. 18+, gambleaware.org.
We spoke to Dean Holden, the assistant head coach of Hull City, earlier on, and they take on Manchester United, the club he supports and loves, on the opening Saturday of the season at 12:30 live on talkSPORT. We kick off the season on talkSPORT on Friday evening at the Emirates, where Arsenal take on newly promoted Coventry City. And joining us now, the Coventry City owner, Doug King. Hi, Doug.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Well, I'm sure you're very excited by that. Yeah. Or not, daunted or excited?
Listen, we haven't been here for 6 years, have we? So anything would have done for us. But what a start at the capital, at the champions. I love that. Champions against the champions, and we'll kick it off, and we'll be glad to do so.
Yeah, very, very tough fixture, but Arsenal will have a disrupted pre-season because all of their players practically are at the World Cup, and they'll come back late. So it gives you a bit of a chance, doesn't it?
Look, I think we've got to go into every game that we have next year believing we have a chance. We know how difficult it'll be there. We know how they play. We know how good they are. Yeah, they're coming back. A lot of the talent will be involved in the World Cup, and so that pre-season will be a little bit different than it may have been in other years. But look, we're not. It's a daunting prospect, but a mouth-watering one, and that's how we're looking at it.
Yes. So you interesting intro to the season. You Arsenal first away, then Hull at home, then City away. Yeah, what a start.
Yeah, what a start. We played Hull first home game in the championship winning season. So our fans are probably thinking, wow, we weren't expecting that. But look, they'll strengthen and get ready for us. No game will be easy. And then obviously to have straight out of the Emirates into the Etihad, that's straight into the Premier League, right? So listen, I had all the gang here today, all the club listening to the announcements. It went a little bit quiet as they sort of looked at those first 2 away games, but they came out of it full of beans and ready to attack it and feel excited about it.
Yeah, we were saying, if a promoted side can get some points on the board, it really does help down the road.
As we saw with Sunderland done last season.
Look, I mean, if you look at Sunderland last season, you don't know what your fixtures are going to be. You don't know how it's all going to play out, do you? But I think the home form is critical. And I think I made it clear to our supporters. We went on sale this week for the season tickets, and our home form is going to be critical, and we have to make it a cauldron. We did it last year. Our home form was sensational, and it was a huge sort of pillar for getting us the championship. So I think that's where we need to be really on it. And obviously, when we go away, we've got to work out how to be pragmatic and get some numbers on the board. But it'll be the home form that we really need to make happen next year.
I'm sure your manager, Frank Lampard, was checking out the fixtures and seeing when Chelsea was going to come up. And Boxing Day, they come to your place, Doug.
What a lovely fixture. We love a Boxing Day fixture. And obviously, the Premier League have recognised that this season as well. And to be at home on Boxing Day, I mean, it's always a special one. And to have, obviously, Chelsea visiting us with all the links, we know that'll be spectacular. I don't know, he's away at the minute, so it's a bit early in the morning where he is, but I'm sure he's been pinged all over the place and woken up. But look, we've got some great fixtures. I can't really single them all out, but they're spectacular, and we'll take anything thrown our way because we're back in the Premier League, and that's something that we'll treasure.
He has been linked with other clubs and other jobs, which is very flattering for him because he's a very, very good manager. But fortunately, it looks like he's going to start the season with you.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great 18 months with Frank. Obviously, people have taken notice of what he's done and how he's created that great 18 months, actually. But obviously, the season that took us to be champions. Look, we know how it works in football. Everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a view, everybody seems to want to do different things. But I think that we have a good thing here, and I think he's earned the right. And I think it's right that he gets us into the Premier League for the first time, and that's what we want him to do, and that's our direction.
What often happens to managers is that the team comes up into the Premier League and the manager stays loyal, and the results don't go the way that the fans want them to, and the pressure builds on the manager. And some chairman, I'm not saying you will, Doug, they sometimes cave and they give in to the mob. You can't guarantee that's not going to happen, but obviously you seem to have a very good relationship with Frank, and he has a good relationship with you.
I think I've always been much more on process and how we're doing and what we're doing and how does it all go. And so if that all sticks and we get some tough runs, we get some tough runs. I'm very calm with that. It's when process breaks down and things get a little out of control, then you have to try and change those things. But I firmly believe we've worked together 18 months. We know how each other work. We have a good direct relationship. We can challenge whatever we want to challenge. And listen, I'm fully behind him to go all the way. We'll take what comes, and he's got all the tools to react and to drive us and hopefully have a successful first season.
Just finally, Doug, Gary, the Coventry fan, has sent us this. We've not had a time to fact check it, but I'd like to ask you the question, and you can put us right or not. He says he has seen a fairly substantial hike in his season ticket in Club Coventry section. He's not particularly happy about it. What's your response to that?
We went out this week, obviously, with our season tickets. We took our time on that, and we tried to get certainly the general admission tickets right. I made it clear all the way along that our hospitality side of it would need to change with respect to what we create there, and that's something that we are changing in Club Coventry quite meaningfully from what it's been previously. So yeah, the prices there have moved upwards, and hospitality is where we'll focus on it. People who've got the ability to support us and to take a premium experience is where I think every football club has to focus, but not alienate the fans, which make up the vast majority of the attendance. So listen, we've looked at it hard. It is what it is to a large degree. But hopefully, he'll see the quality difference of the hospitality that we give, and that will make it all worthwhile.
Excellent. Well, look, that answers Gary's question. Thank you very much, Doug. It must be a great day for you after all these years of being out the league and what you've put into the club recently. So have a good summer, and no doubt we will catch up with you during the season. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.
Doug King there, the owner of Coventry City.
You can see it from both point of view because, it is an increased product. You can't compare watching the teams of the Premier League. You watching some of the best players in the world versus Champions, great league, but it's not the same quality.
I can understand Gary's frustration, who's been a loyal fan and he's been on the corporate side, but
absolutely
in the Premier League, that I suppose that corporate product is going to go up a fair bit. So, still to come. Graham Stokes is popping in. He's from Global Sports Collectibles, and we often talk about these iconic football shirts, but often they've been match worn but so many kind of replica shirts, if you like, of a certain era can be quite collectible. We're going to be looking at some of the shirts in this tournament as well, which ones have taken Graham's eye.
I love Curacao. Yes,
you like that shirt? Get yourself a Curacao shirt, are you? Mike Brown, of course, the former England fullback, will be joining us for a chat. We've got the Gallagher Premiership rugby final tomorrow between Northampton Saints and Exeter Chiefs. And Mike has got an incredible sporting footballing connection through marriage. He'll tell us more about that. Our creatures of the night. We'll have a bit of a chat about what we've seen in the world of the World Cup coming up in a few moments' time. I'll have some clips of the week for you in the final hour too.
Jed Spence done. He could have scored, Jed Spence, right? There is no way that any player on that pitch, had they played the amount of minutes, could have got through where he did. He's got legs. He's an athlete. He had a part
he's a brilliant player. I'm not disagreeing with that.
But I think he can impact the game, not from the start. Jed Spencer's not going to start in the World Cup.
Oh, I don't know,
He ain't starting.
I don't know.
Unless it's going to be against Panama in the last game. He ain't starting. He's not starting against Ghana.
I think against France, Brazil, he's a better option than Reece James. He's quicker than Reece James.
He ain't a better player than Reece.
He ain't a better player than Reece James. Reece
No,
James weren't
I've
great
never said
tonight.
he's a better player.
I agree. Reece
James did not look that fit.
Second half was better.
Reece James against Elise, he's going to get skinned. Do you know what I mean?
Are you kidding? Elise plays off the right. Just get this right. Reece
James against Bacola.
Mate, I'll have
Right. Jed Spence can play left or right back.
Jed Spence is a better defender than Reece James. Jed Spence is a better defender than Reece James.
Oh, honestly, what are you not taken? What have you taken? What's going on? What's happened? What's happened?
Jed Spence is a better defender than Reece James. Where are you going? He's walking out. What? James, you can't walk out. Josh, he's walked out. I can't believe it. He's walked out. Jed Spence. I think he maybe thinks I'm saying that Jed Spence is a better player. I'm not saying he's a better player. He's a better defender than Reece James. Do you agree with me, Josh?
He's definitely better going forward defensively, but I'm not too sure. But I think a lot of people are being very harsh on us here, to be honest. I mean, the 2 goals that Croatia scored, brilliant goals. I mean, the first goal, what can you really do about it? But obviously, if you look at 4-2, it does look a bit ropey for us. But if you watch the 2 goals they scored, I mean, their second goal, brilliant.
For Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. It's just gone 11 o'clock. We should bring you these sports headlines with Nick Ellaby.
talkSPORT.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning. Premier League champions Arsenal start their title defence at home to promoted Coventry live on talkSPORT on Friday, August the 21st. Arsenal fan, talkSPORT's Darren Bent, has plenty of opening day experience.
I'd like a few whipping boys at the start to get your confidence in, get a few goals.
Yeah.
But for Arsenal, their fixture, they'd look at that and go, yeah, it's a great fixture. But for Coventry, as you said there, that's what you wait for.
Meanwhile, Xabi Alonso's first game in charge of Chelsea is the West London derby at Fulham. There's a full list at talksport.com. Now we're told Man City are closing in on signing England's Elliot Anderson. At the World Cup, Iran will lodge an official complaint with FIFA over their travel restrictions because of their country's war with the US. They're having to fly in from Mexico on match days. Harry Kane says that Wonderwall sing-along in Dallas was one of his best moments in an England shirt. He's spoken to the Lions Den podcast.
We know how much it means to them. I think they see how much it means to us. We have that connection right now. But just that moment, singing Wonderwall in the stadium, everyone knew the words, and that was a really special moment, I thought.
England play Ghana next, live on talkSPORT on Tuesday. Scotland can reach the knockouts by beating Morocco live on talkSPORT tonight, and the Tartan Army are making friends in Boston.
It's absolutely sensational. I mean, you just look around, there's thousands have come across here.
It's so cool. I went to Scotland a couple of years ago and absolutely loved it. So, to have the culture come here is really, really awesome.
The Americans have been just absolutely wonderful with us.
And to the cricket, Ben Stokes plays for Durham today, suspended by England for his post-curfew trip to a nightclub. He could be back for the third test, but maybe not as captain. Day 3 of England's second test with New Zealand is underway now. The boys are 223 for 6 at the Oval. Overseas listeners can get live commentary on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube.
talkSPORT News.
The Prime Minister says he'll fight any leadership contest as Andy Burnham makes his return to Westminster after winning the Makerfield by-election. Sinead has more on that in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. This summer, treat yourself to Bridgestone Turanza All-Season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Rain in the northwest, edging slowly southeast. Drier elsewhere with sunny spells. Hot in the southeast, feeling muggy.
Good morning, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with you through until 1 o'clock when Jim and Simon take over. Hope they can get in the building today now the Knicks have had their victory parade. But Jim and Simon up at 1 live from the World Trade Center. With us in this hour, we're going to chat to the owner of Global Sports Collectibles, an expert on football shirts, Graham Stokes, who's popping in to see us to talk about how it can be quite lucrative not just to have the match-worn stuff, but just iconic replica shirts from World Cups. He'll tell us about that and the ones that have caught his eye this time around. Mike Brown from the world of rugby union, former England fullback, joins us to look ahead to the Gallagher Premiership rugby final tomorrow and tell us about his connection to a footballing great. And we'll have some calls from you and various other bits and pieces and our creature of the night. But before that, Andy, it's competition time. talkSPORT are an official radio broadcaster of FIFA World Cup 2026, and to celebrate, we're giving you the chance to win £26,000 in cash. And the best part is it's completely tax-free. So £26,000 could be yours. It'll fund your summer. So enter now. Here's how.
For your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July 2026. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or send your name and number to by post to Comp1, PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 8GP, to arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July 2026. 18 plus, UK residents only. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 right now. It's a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com.
Just like to qualify there, Andy didn't say, please send your number to the Pope, because he really doesn't want them.
Did I say Pope?
Oh, it sounded like it. He said, please send your number to the Pope. We don't want the Pontiff being inundated, do we, really? He'll be watching the World Cup, won't he? They're not playing in Chicago, though, so he'll be
very good
slightly
point,
gutted by that. Yeah.
Now, last night,
yes,
I was a bit bored with the Switzerland game.
That first half was not good, was it? I mean, honestly, like I said at the top, we'll ask the guys at BetMGM, did anybody at halftime think this one's got 4-1 written all over it?
Nobody.
It wasn't a great, I mean, neither of the games were stunners last night, were they? And it is a bit, look, I know the way the groups work, but, you know, when you consider, like, Argentina going to be at 1:30 in the morning and Brazil and whatever, you think, I mean, with respect to the good people of Switzerland and Bosnia, I could have done without
It's to
that.
do, though, with the time zones.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
Argentina were on the same thing. And so, but Bosnia's game plan basically was 3 draws, a 0-0 and pens it all the way to the final.
Yeah.
Come off.
But they had a real classic momentum drop. Lucy Wall was saying in commentary, it's how different it was.
I picked that up as soon as it happened. I wrote goal.
They just got themselves back into the game. That hydration break, they never picked it up, did they?
No, they didn't.
Do you know? It's also everybody is booing them now. The England fans booed them the other night. Everybody's booing hydrate. Even in the Mexico, game, they booed it.
The reason is that people think it's being done for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
It could have been done. It should have only been 2 minutes or 1 minute or 2. It should never have been 3 minutes. It should have just been no coaching. It should just be players get a drink and the coaches shouldn't be allowed in.
Well, I think it was true. Martin Samuel in the Times made the point.
That's what
just have the water boy come in.
Yeah, that's what should
go into the middle of the pitch. The players stand there. The coaches don't come out. They have a drink.
Anyway, I'm trying to tell you this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. After I gave you that World Cup shaped beer glass,
it's very nice. Yeah.
I thought it would be a nice way to show my appreciation of your fine work in 26 years.
Okay.
To go online and buy a selection of World Cup tat to give you. I plan to present
every day
with something every day.
Oh,
yes.
God bless you.
When I tell you I got 10 items for 75 quid, you'll know.
Well, that's still quite an outlay, Andy, for the sake of the show.
I'll do anything for a joke.
You can claim that back on your tax.
I don't think I will. It should all be in by Monday. I've only gone unofficial.
So £7.50 per tat item.
Well, actually, the last item, I bought one official item by mistake. I didn't realise it's the best thing, so I'll save that till last.
Okay.
But it's, yes, you can tell I was bored by the game.
Well, that's great. So
I was curious to see what was available.
We'll have some World Cup tat reveal.
Oh, there's some right stunners in there. Most of it you won't use. Some of it might be useful. You never know.
Yeah. The glass that you gave me is very nice. It's the shape of the World Cup, and I'm having a bit of a gathering on Sunday for Father's Day, so I christen it.
That'll impress people.
It's very fine glass. I tapped the bottom of it. I'm slightly frightened of putting my finger through it. I think the only problem with it is that it may not hold liquid, which for a glass is just basics, isn't it? As Roy Keane would say, it's its job.
Now, Harry Kane there is just talking about singing Wonderwall.
Yeah.
And of course, Wonderwall or even Sweet Carol, anything would have been better than the darts music that they play every time we score. But I worked it out. They're going to do that. We should change our third kit to Luke Littler's darts shirts.
Yeah.
Be good. Nothing clashes with purple and yellow.
No, they're nice colours.
It's a good idea, isn't it?
It's definitely a good idea.
Honestly. And the England players should do the old darts celebration.
Yeah.
When we've scored.
Did you see that Erling Haaland's been having a little bowl around New York? And he went to Cat's Deli.
He did, yeah.
The scene of when Harry met
He's
Sally.
the only person that wanted the sandwich to be bigger.
Yeah. But if they showed over their screens there, if they showed a selection of his goal, somebody definitely would have said, I'll have what he's having.
They would.
Yeah.
And I was watching a little clip of The Rest is Football they showed about on Sky Sports
Oh, yeah.
this morning. And
other podcasts are available, mainly on this channel.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But what's odd about it is they were sitting there, they had like a full cheese board in front of them.
Did they?
I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was thinking, what's the point of this?
Maybe it's Gary's rider. Could be Alan's rider, couldn't it?
It could be.
Imagine there's Alan looking a bit upset, quite surly one day. Your Wensley deal. You're getting just we'll find out.
The other cheese maker.
Yeah. Nice. Anyway,
I did think, where's Sheridan Shaqiri? I couldn't believe he wasn't actually in the Swiss.
You'll be thinking that in about 5 or 6 World Cups, really, won't you? Their first goal was a really good goal, actually. Really beautifully
When they
worked.
finally got it together, they were good.
They did score some good goals, and you kind of knew they were going to win the match. But I sort of watched it. My wife wasn't engaged with it, but I was saying this had got 1-0 Switzerland written all over it. It certainly didn't have 4-1. Anyway, we will build up to tonight's matches over the course of the show. What should be an entertaining game. Co-host USA versus Australia. Both had good results first time off.
Yeah, looking forward.
That's
That
the
could be
8
quite a
o'clock.
physical game there.
Yeah, Dance and Mickey Gray, your commentary team, who you wasn't Croft, your host for that one. Then it's the little matter of Scotland, Morocco. And then overnight, Brazil in action. I'm going to catch up with Tim Vickery a little bit later on. They take on Haiti. And then it's Turkey, Paraguay. And Paraguay had a terrible start to the tournament, and we'll get Tim's take on that as well as a bit of Argentina. Stan Collymore joining us. I think he's back in Austin now. He's still in Texas. He'll be heading off for the...
He got the flag in. He was very happy.
Oh, that's good. We'll find out what that experience... Yeah, we'll get about the in-stadium experience. I think he was impressed with the stadium, but Stan will join us a little bit later on. But before that, England are playing in the second test at the Oval against New Zealand. They've just got underway. Let's pay our first visit. Catch up with Sam Ellard. Sam.
Hi, Paul. Good morning, guys. Sadly, you come to me right as England lose their first wicket on day 3, so it's bad timing. 235 for 7 is Jordan Cox on debut, who has been caught at mid-wicket. Not the best of shots. Matt Henry coming in and bowling. It's a full ball, angling into the right-hander, and he just times the ball and flicks the ball perfectly, timing-wise, but the placement is not good enough. He picks out Tom Latham, and the New Zealand captain takes the catch. So Jordan Cox on debut has gone for 27. Jofra Archer, who fancies himself as a batter. If it was up to him, he'd be batting much higher up the order. He's played 2 lovely shots, a drive through the offside and a back foot punch through the offside, and England are going to need his lower order runs to try and get close to New Zealand's first total. They made 391 yesterday. England 235 for 7. Matt Fisher is the new batter at the crease. England with lots of work to do, boys, trailing New Zealand by 156 runs.
I think one of the big problems for England at the moment is they're falling between 2 stools. They've gone away from baseball, and they're not playing traditional cricket either. So they're playing some sort of something in the middle, and it's not working.
Yeah.
And for me, it's time.
I mean, it is quite a changed lineup this time as well. They are missing the skipper who's playing for Durham.
But you've just seen a bloke, Cox, who scored 164 in about 5 minutes last week, an amazing innings.
Yeah.
And he's come out and played like Tavare. I mean, what's the point? There's absolutely no point.
I know what you mean. So just to let you know that Sam is part of a new cricket podcast. How's that for a pod? He's joined by Faraz Nur. You remember Faraz from Traitors, of course, Big Burr, and a huge cricket fan. And so they'll be covering all the big cricketing and non-cricketing stories. The first episode's out now. You'll find it on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel and on the Following On podcast. New episodes every Wednesday. Mike Brown joins us next, former England fullback. It's Gallagher Premiership final. Northampton Saints, Exeter Chiefs. Tomorrow we'll get Mike's take on that and talk about his... he played a bit of football, I think. He toyed, possibly. I don't know if he had a chance. Could he have been a contender in football? We'll find out. But he certainly has married into football royalty, as Mike will explain, I'm sure, in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go. to play you something, Steve. Didier Mann, the former Germany midfielder, has been on RTE after the game. He was talking about Harry Kane and sort of picked up on a point one or two other people have made about Harry Kane. Let's play you this and see what you make of it.
He's the captain and he's there to score goals in the knockout games. And the jury's out. And I can hear what Jay says. I can hear what Kevin says. I want to see him do it in the last 16 against France, in the last 8 against Brazil. And whether he's capable of doing it, we don't know. He hasn't done it so far. Then again, in Munich, every centre-forward has scored goals. And it doesn't matter whether he scores 35 or 25. They're going to win the league. I'm not sure. I think there's a few centre-forwards in this tournament. I'd probably rather have him a team than him. I'm sitting on the fence for now, but I've got my doubts about him, whether he's the player who's taken England to the World Cup. I think at some stage in a tournament, you need pace. And he simply hasn't got it.
That's Didier Mann over in RTE in Ireland.
You should write to the Daily Star.
It was basically saying he's flat track bully. He's kind of going down the route of.
Did you see he's working for RTE in Dublin? Has he been on the Guinness or something all night or whatever? He must be the first person I've ever heard question Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but I don't see that at all. I mean, look. This fella is world class, and you just have to look at his record, whether he's playing in England, whether he's playing for Spurs, whether he's playing for Bayern Munich. The guy is got a little bit of special quality. He's a wonderful, wonderful finisher, and of course he's got a couple of goals yesterday, which nobody's surprised. We're surprised he missed that penalty, the first one, where we're a little bit lucky. Something's gone our way, but you have to say, I think Didi. But look. I disagree with him immensely. I mean, Harry Kane for me is world class player.
Time for the creatures of the night, nocturnal beasts that we have recruited to watch the overnight matches here on talkSPORT. And it was Matthew, the Manchester United fan, that we called upon overnight to watch a bit of Mexico in action. So one of the hosts, this is how it all unfolded.
And we're up and running in Guadalajara, and it's South Korea who get the game underway in a change strip of all lilac, fairly distinctive, against Mexico's all black.
Half time here between Mexico and South Korea, and if you were wondering whether you should have stayed up to watch this, give yourself a pat on the back for deciding to go to bed. These were two teams, they're two very good passing teams. The atmosphere to begin with was great. The rendition of the Mexican anthem was fantastic. However, that was about as good as it got. Two classic kits, all purple and all black. not. And maybe the highlight of the game was, no, can't think of one. Anyway, let's hope the second half is better. It can't be much worse. That was drearily dull. Of course, both teams can go through if they have a draw, so maybe they're both playing for that. We shall see soon. Maybe the highlight of the first half was the actual stadium. Amazing stadium in Guadalajara. And there's a word you can say whether you're sober or drunk. It makes no difference.
The ball has been dropped by the South Korea goalkeeper, and Mexico have scored.
Beginning of the second half, if we thought both these teams were playing for a draw, which would mean they'd both go through, how wrong we were. Mexico going to lead 1-0. Goal from Louis Romo, playing on his home ground, after the South Korean goalkeeper Kim Sung-yu spilled the ball. Mexico 1, South Korea 0. 81st minute at Guadalajara. Mexico still in the lead 1-0. Seem to be much in control. South Korea not really doing much, not really threatening to score. So probably 10 minutes left. My bed is screaming for me. This is quite hard work, staying awake at whatever time it is, 3:45. Mexico 1, South Korea 0. Yeah. 85th minute, Mexico on the attack. Vargas, what a cracking shot, and an equally brilliant save by Kim Sung-yu, trying to make amends for his spill in the first half. Not long to go now. The birds are singing outside in London, not Guadalajara. 6 additional minutes in Guadalajara. South Korea need to score an equaliser. It's not looking that likely, but the sun coming up. Full-time whistle has just gone. Mexico go through. They're the first team to qualify as one of the co-host nations, and rather fittingly, Roma, the guy who scored the goal, on his ground where he plays football. I wouldn't race to see the highlights package of this game. I think if you blink, you might miss it. It's nearly 4 o'clock. It's time for bed. Congrats to Mexico, and South Korea will have to play their next game and try and bag the win. Thanks very much. It's been real.
Thank you, Matthew. That's a great overnight DJ voice.
Yes,
all you truckers.
A bit like Mark Steele.
Yeah, he did have a bit of a deeper Mark Steele.
Very, very deep voice. I couldn't say whether it was late night or during the day. Does he speak like this normally?
He probably does, yeah, like Joe Pasquale.
What happened to the first half?
Yeah, it wasn't great. I watched 8 minutes of it. Sonny had a chance earlier on, but it would have been offside. And there was some good saves, apart from the spill by the keeper. Beyond that, not a star.
Very good stuff, though. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. Love saying the word
Guadalajara.
He really enjoyed that, didn't he, at 4 o'clock in the morning? There'll be another Creatures of the Night working at an ungodly hour on Monday. But now it's time to look ahead to the Gallagher Prem final with Funding Circle.
Gallagher Prem Preview on talkSPORT with Funding Circle. Business finance that backs you. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Always a fun day out. We were there about 4 years ago now when our old mate Freddie Burns got that drop kick for Leicester Tigers against Saracens. This year, of course, it's the little matter of Northampton Saints versus Exeter Chiefs. Mike Brown, former England fullback, joins us. Hi, Mike.
Hi, guys. Great to be on. Love the show. Love talkSPORT. So thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. Maybe let's deal then with your football credentials via marriage. Your father-in-law. A lot of people may not know who that is. Tell us more, Mike.
Yeah, Tony Woodcock, ex Nottingham Forest, Arsenal, Cologne, as he likes to tell me every time I see him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he likes to remind me how many England caps he's got and how many European medals he's got. So yeah, he's a good man.
Have you had many
honoured at Forest at the last game of the season? Am I going mad?
What's that? Sorry, he was honoured. Yeah, he was honoured around the year. He finally got his medal, didn't he? Which he was robbed of.
Yeah, he was going on about that for a long time, and finally managed to get his medal, which he says was wrongly taken away from him or not given to him. He's finally got that, so he's a happy man.
We'll give him our best because he often has a chat with us on the show around Forest games. So anyway, let's get into the matter at hand. On the face of it, Northampton Saints big favourites, but I think a lot of the neutrals will be kind of getting behind Exeter because it would be quite a story, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be amazing. I mean, if we look at the context behind it of where they were last season, they finished the season, second from bottom? And now they're, one game away from being Premiership champions. The first time in a good few years. And, off the back of the semi-final they had, which was an unbelievable game. I mean, both of them were unbelievable games of rugby. Physical, fast-paced, high-scoring, everything that we want to see in any sporting occasion. They had it. But yeah, to beat Bath, the current champions, at their place, everyone says for semi-finals that home advantage is massive and pretty much push you over the line, but it didn't for Bath. And Exeter were outstanding on the day. The fight, the physicality, at the death they were on their own line, managed to hold them up, which would have been the winning try to do that, and what they did. Yes, it's an amazing story.
Well, when you look, though, at Northampton's team, I mean, there is some quality in there, isn't it? Finn Smith, Henry Pollock, box office. Do you think Alex Mitchell will play? He's been injured. I mean, that's going to be one of the big calls, I guess, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a big talking point. It's a big call. The young line they've had in there, Archie McParland, he's been outstanding in Mitchell's absence. So it's a huge call for the coaches. If Mitchell's back, do you chuck him straight in, having not played for a good few weeks? Or do you give the young lad another run and back him, and then maybe have Mitchell off the bench, which is, an unbelievable impact sub to have come on, that with his experience and what he's done in the international game. So it's a tough call for Dowson, but that's why he's paid the big bucks. But it's definitely a big talking point. And then you got Woboso, the English winger, for Exeter, who's also apparently fit to play, and he's an absolute gun of a winger, pace, power, score trying ability. So another big call for the other team this time, whether they go with him, which I think they should, with his X factor in a final, or they stick with the guys they've had playing.
I just wonder how much of a factor the weather will be tomorrow. It's going to be very.
Well, Andrew McKenna's already in situ. He's just sent me a picture. He says it's a glorious day in the stadium currently and blooming hot. I think it's going to be similar temperatures tomorrow, Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a hot one. I mean, I'm sat in the car now with the engine off and no aircon, and I'm absolutely steaming with sweat. But I remember the first Premiership final I played in 2012. It was, mid 30 degrees. It was boiling hot. However, I think it was by luck than anything, because we had a sponsor that was based in Dubai, or Abu Dhabi, sorry, and we went over there a couple of weeks before, and it was steaming hot there, and we managed to kind of acclimatise to that heat and be ready for the final, which was also really hot, and turn over Leicester Tigers on the day, and I think that helps. But yeah, it's going to be so hot, especially if they play with the intensity and physicality they played those semi-finals in. It's really going to take its toll on players a long season that they've had as well. But I think it just lends itself to a brilliant final. It's going to be high scoring, good tries, the way Northampton play, the way Exeter have shown they can play. It's going to be high scoring, and I think anyone that's not watching any football because it won't be on, get yourself and watch this Prem final, because I think it's really going to be a great advert for rugby, whether you follow rugby or not. It's going to be brilliant.
And finally, who's going to shade it, you think?
Yeah, wow. It's a tough one. I think Exeter to come in, with all that confidence, having beaten the current champions at their place, away from home for Exeter. So they've got that confidence and belief. But then you've got Saints, who they are the star team, that X factor with Finn Smith at 9, Archie McParland or Mitchell Finn Smith at 10, Archie or Mitchell at 9. You got Tommy Freeman in the back line, to name a few absolute gun players that can just pull something from nowhere and score. They can score tries. The way they attack is amazing. It's great to watch. So if I was a betting man, and I'm not, I'd probably go with Saints with their experience, the gun players they've got, how they attack, and how open I think this Prem final is going to be. I think they'll just pip it, but you can't write Exeter off with the young exuberance they've got and the.
Oh, I think have we lost Mike there? He's just frozen. Mike, I think you can still hear us. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game. That was our look ahead to the Gallagher Prem final with Funding Circle, business finance that backs you. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Gallagher Prem Preview on talkSPORT with Funding Circle. Business finance that backs you. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
You mentioned Perisic. They've got players in their side. Modric, you know, they're the wrong side of 35, right? These players have been in their team for a long, long time. And we're not struggling, but the first 45, I'm watching it thinking, how is this happening again?
But also, you've got to think, right? I get what you're saying, but also, there's going to be a few nerves kicking about.
Yeah.
Right? These guys, as you said there, have been around for such a long time, so they just understand, they're comfortable where they are. Modric, Perisic, these guys, they just know what it takes to get to that to get to that level. But it's I think there's a lot of boxes that Thomas Tuchel would have ticked. I thought the team selection he got wrong. But in my personal,
who do you get wrong?
I would have started Rashford.
Yeah, me too.
And Mark Gahey has to play. He has to play.
Talk about what you're saying outside about the balance of the centre halves.
Because John Stones, he naturally plays on the right hand side, right? And it's Maguire that usually plays on the left when it was those two. When you move John Stones out to the left, naturally he doesn't go that way to Nico O'Reilly, which is why he barely touched the ball. He couldn't go that way.
And Anthony Gordon hardly received the ball in the first half.
Mark Gahey naturally plays on the left side, so he's used to receiving the ball from the right hand side and going out to the left. But that just wasn't there, which is why we hardly saw anything down that left hand side. But yeah, I would have started Mark Gahey and I would have started Rashford for sure. They would have been my first two on the not on the team sheet, but they're the two that I would have started.
So you would have started with Rashford on the left. What about the other side? Would you have started with Noni?
Yeah, probably, because Saka, I'm not sure. I don't know how fit Saka is.
Okay. Looked good when he come on, though.
Looked really good. Looked like hungry.
Yeah.
But that's a good problem you've got. But at the end of the day, the quality shone through second half. Even though there were moments towards the end of the second half, before Rashford scored, I was thinking, oh my goodness, they're on top again. They're starting to move the ball. They're getting into their rhythm. Their substitutions made a big difference. But then Rashford comes on and just does what he does.
Yeah.
The sharp turn, the finish.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a problem that first 45 were a bit whiffy because you look at France. I was just about to say, look at France. I mean, they had a rocket up their backside. They're a completely different side in the second half.
Told you about him, didn't I? I said, how often do I sit you
about his name?
We have our first qualifier for the World Cup knockouts, and it's the popular co-hosts.
México, México, México. Cerveza, tequila, mucho tequila.
Mexico got a 1-0 win over South Korea thanks to a clanger from keeper Kim Sung-gyu.
As he came to get it, he stumbled, he dropped the ball, and it's been volleyed into an empty net. And out of nothing, completely out of nothing, Mexico have taken the lead.
Meanwhile, Canada are all but through to the last 32, but they've lost midfielder Ismail Kone to a horror injury.
It was right in front of us and everyone could hear the bone snap. So, you know, your heart goes out to him and everybody's a little shaken by the whole experience.
Coach Jesse Marsh was in tears when it happened. Kone's in hospital for surgery on his leg. Canada beat 9-man Qatar 6-0. Also in Group B, Switzerland took a giant stride towards the knockouts, beating Bosnia 4-1. And the Premier League fixtures for the upcoming season are out. You can find them all at talksport.com.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Just to let you know quickly that England are now 9 down. So their innings
all over by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
No problem. Worst tactics, worst selection, worst decision to bowl. Goodbye, McCullum.
You want him out, do you?
I want him out. I want him out now.
Wow. See if we can get the odds on Brendan McCullum losing his job after this. But we're going to concentrate mainly on the football because we're going to catch up with all the odds thanks to BetMGM. Dan Taus joins us from BetMGM. Hi, Dan.
Morning, gents. How are we?
Yeah, we're not too bad, Dan. We might ask you if McCullum to keep his job. I don't know if there's even a book on it. Andy could be your first punter. But let's maybe sort of kick off with some of the games. Maybe we should kick off with Scotland tonight because we've seen Morocco and we saw what they did against Brazil. They're a good side. So, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, game being played in Boston, 11 o'clock kick-off for Scotland fans, and coming off their back of their 1-0 victory against Haiti. And despite the likes of France, Spain and Germany are all towards the top of the market to win the World Cup, I believe the Scots were the only European team to win their opening match to nil, which is credit to them. Currently sat at the top of Group C, but as you alluded to, Morocco do present a little bit of a different test. Including the controversial AFCON result, they are unbeaten in 29 games. They last lost to Kenya in August 2025, and they come into the game as the odds-on favourites, with Steve Clarke's side just slightly bigger than 4-1, with a draw at 12-5, which, if they do get a point, could be very big considering their next opponents are Brazil midweek. Despite a slightly disappointing draw for the Brazilians in their opening fixture, they can make up for it when they do face Scotland's first opponents, Haiti. History not on Haiti's side, conceded 17 goals in the 3 games in which the two sides have met, and they're as big as 19-1 to get the 3 points, whilst the Brazilians are 1-16. So on paper, it's not really a betting market on the outrights, but odds of all 3 outcomes are very similar to what Spain versus Cape Verde were on Monday, and we all know what happened there.
Yeah,
they're going to have to improve so much to do anything in this.
Who's that, sorry?
Brazil.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, Haiti did create chances against Scotland. They really should have scored towards the end with that header that went wide.
The 85th minute, yeah.
Yeah, you do kind of feel that if Haiti were just to pull off a goal, all that pressure on Brazil's players, but they have got the players down to get out of trouble, as we saw in that first game with Vinny Jr.
Exactly right. And I think that if Haiti go and get results tonight, would this be the greatest World Cup shock of all time?
Probably would be, I would think, for a second game.
You'd have North Korea against Italy.
You'd have. He's gone early, North Korea. You don't get any odds on that. No. Other games this weekend. There are some really good matches, a lot of the big hitters in action. So which other ones are you looking forward to?
Yeah, it just keeps coming, doesn't it? We're going to start with Netherlands versus Sweden. That kicks off 6 p.m. tomorrow, our time. I'm not sure what Mr. Jacobs thinks, but regardless of people's thoughts about his recent Premier League appointments, there's got to be a little bit of credit that goes to Graham Potter, who he took over in October last year of the Swedish national team, and not only did he manage to get to qualify for the World Cup via the playoffs, but the result on Monday was very impressive versus Tunisia, and I think they could be slightly overpriced at 7-2 to beat the Netherlands. Koeman's side have failed to score in opening play in the last 3 matches, and despite beating Norway back in March, they've been a little bit underwhelming. They lost to Algeria and needed a 98th minute penalty to see off Uzbekistan, who are 42 places below the Dutch side in FIFA World Rankings. Granted, they are only friendlies, but they weren't amazing against Japan, I didn't think. But despite that, they are the 4-6 favourites with a draw at 13-5. And as I said, I think Sweden could be a decent price at 7-2. Elsewhere, Germany, who got past Curacao quite emphatically, didn't they? They faced the Ivory Coast in Group E. They're now the all-time top scorers in tournament history and sit top of the table on goal difference, and a draw could be enough to see both sides through to the knockout stages. That's something that Ivory Coast has never done. Germany odds on the favourites for that one, whilst the Ivory Coast are around the 5-1 mark. And then finally, Spain, couldn't not mention them after Monday's draw versus Cape Verde. They face Saudi Arabia on Sunday evening. The Spanish long odds on to win the group despite their first game ending in the draw. Face the Saudi side who achieved a decent point against Uruguay, and you'd imagine the Spaniards will start some of the team they decided to bench in that first game. And I'll be amazed if they come up short again. Spain are 1-14 to win the game, and they're still joint second favourites with England at 6-1 to win the trophy in July, whilst France remain the outright favourites at 4-1.
We're going to have a chat with Rupert Bell a little bit later on, and he's at Royal Ascot bringing us commentary over on talkSPORT too. So what's the big feature race there, Dan, and what do you fancy? What are the bookies saying?
Yeah, just pulled out 2 races of day 4 or 5 of the Royal Meeting. The Commonwealth Cup over 6 furlongs at 3:05 has Venetian Sun, who is the 6-4 favourite. Very impressive last time out at Haydock at the end of May, and the Colbert trained 3-year-old could take some beating in that. The other big race on the card is the Coronation Stakes at 4:20. Aidan O'Brien, who else, has the 2 leading fancies in Precise and True Love. Faced each other twice so far this year, and despite being stable jockey, Ryan Moore has picked the wrong horse on both occasions in the English and Irish Guineas, and he'll be over its 3rd time lucky. He's decided to go aboard the 4-6 favourite Precise, whilst Wayne Lorden has picked up the ride on True Love, and he's the 2nd favourite at 5-2. But either way, it should be a cracking race.
Excellent. Good stuff, Dan. Have a good weekend. Enjoy all the football. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
So that was a look at all the latest odds. Thanks to BetMGM. You can visit betmgm.co.uk. You can download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
We're going to return then to the Oval, get you updated on the second test. Not a vintage.
McCallum gone yet?
Not a vintage performance by England in the last 40-odd minutes, Sam.
No, it's been a bad start to day 2 for England. They've lost 3 wickets in the space of 4 overs. They were 235 for 6 a short while ago, 238 for 9 now, and trailing New Zealand by 148 runs. They're going to have a big first innings deficit. Matt Henry's got 5 wickets, 5 for 66. He's bowled beautifully this morning. He got the 2 big wickets late yesterday evening of Joe Root and Harry Brook. The 3 to go this morning. Jordan Cox played a poor shot to short mid-wicket, going for 27. Then Jofra Archer edged behind off Matt Henry. Tom Blundell standing up to the stumps, taking a really good catch with right-hand side away from his body. And then Josh Tongue was out to Matt Henry, trying to play a big shot down the ground. Picked out Smith at mid-on, who took a really good catch, diving back out the second attempt. So it's Fisher and Baker at the crease. New Zealand should have wrapped the innings up a short while ago. There was a run-out chance, but Blundell missed an opportunity. And yeah, from this pod on, guys, England are going to need an absolute miracle to fight their way back into this game. New Zealand posted 391 first innings. England 243 for 9. That's trailing by 148 runs.
Thank you, Sam. Sam Allard there at the Oval. Now, which football shirts in this World Cup will be the iconic ones of the future? We're going to try and predict a few with an expert in the field, Graham Stokes, who's popping in to see us in the studio in a couple of moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. Just chatting off air about Terry Venables and Euro 96. You're getting Euro 96 vibes already.
Well, I'm getting England-Holland Euro 96 vibes, 100%, because, I was very fortunate enough to know Terry, as I'm sure you two did. And, I asked him about that game. We used to do a show together on Saturdays on the radio about football. And, he said, I just threw 7 forwards on. Everybody could play in attack. Even the sort of back 4, we were very sort of front-footed thinking. And he said, don't worry about how many goals they're going to score. Just score more goals than them. And then you have them on the back foot and they can't get out of their own half anyway. Yeah. And you were there for England-Holland at Wembley Stadium. I was there when the scoreboard said England 4, Holland 0. I mean, they did score a goal, but we did see 4-0 for a while. And last night was very, very reminiscent of that, and they talk about total football. That was as close as we got. And, I'm fascinated by managers and what they say and what makes the difference between an Alex Ferguson and an Arsene Wenger and a Thomas Tuchel compared to the others. Ancelotti, I know you're a big fan of, and he's been on the show.
Yeah.
And it's great, isn't it, what Harry... Because Harry... The thing about Tuchel is he's just saying what he thinks. Even right before the game, you know, he's saying, well, we're going to do this because they're going to do that. And if they're watching, they know what he's going to do. But he's so organised in a way that's sort of, you know, quite off-putting for the opposition, I would imagine. And then Harry Kane does a Thomas Tuchel after the match because he tells you exactly what Tuchel told them at half time, which was basically, lads, I thought we had a deal here. You're gonna play like you don't care, like you're back in the playground, you know. And in the first half, you didn't do that, boys. You know, we had an agreement. Can we just go out and do that? And they all went, oh yeah, we remember. And they just went out, and it was just.
Good morning, it's Paul Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. One thing we haven't really got around to talking about yet are the kits and the shirts at this World Cup. There's often a kind of breakout shirt that we all remember for a tournament, and it isn't always because that team wins the tournament. So we thought we'd do that now in the company of an expert in the world of football shirts. Graham Stokes is the owner of Global Sports Collectibles. He joins us now in a vintage England shirt, and he's brought a couple in as well. Good to see you, Graham. Thanks for coming in.
Morning, thank you.
So, remind us of that vintage, the one you're wearing today.
My favourite, personally, is this shirt. It's the Italia 90 England, and I remember it was the first World Cup that I remember. All right, we didn't win it, but it was a very eventful tournament for us.
We had a shirt in that World Cup that we never got round to wearing, didn't we, in Italia 90?
Yeah.
But it's now available as a replica shirt, isn't it?
Yeah. There are a lot of shirts from the 70s, 80s, 90s that have been remade recently by respective clubs and international teams.
Yeah. I mean, the Score Draw boys have produced quite a lot of the replica shirts, haven't they? But the ones that you tend to collect are the ones that are of that vintage at that time.
Yes. So in the collection at the moment, in my shop, there's around 350 shirts. And then in my personal collection that I wouldn't sell, there's around 90 to 100 shirts. And they're all original with some match-worn shirts in the collection.
Is that one you wouldn't sell, that one?
I wouldn't sell this one.
Yeah. And he always says the great thing about football shirts, because the argument comes up every they're 80 quid, we can't afford it. But they're very durable garments, aren't they? They can be washed and washed and washed.
Yeah.
And they do survive. And I suppose that's a testament to it, isn't it?
We've got one here, which is it came out in 1977.
Yeah.
And it's still going strong. I mean, I don't wear it. It's on display in the shop.
Graham's holding up. If you're watching on Connect TV or YouTube, it is that kind of classic Admiral shirt with the Leeds fans remember that Admiral badge.
Yeah.
With the sort of piping round the sleeves, the blue and red piping on the white shirt. That is a great old shirt.
And we forget that Admiral were actually the pioneers in football shirts.
Yeah.
And it was through the Leeds kit.
Too pleased to eat.
Well, no, but I think the thing about Admiral, they were bolder in terms of. I mean, I'm broke.
Well, if I say to both of you, when I lift this shirt up, name a player, I think I know who you'll say.
That's with the 82 shirt, isn't it? I don't know. It's a difficult one. I kind of think of Kevin.
There you go.
Keegan.
Everyone always thinks of Keegan when we see this shirt.
Although he wore that earlier one as well, didn't he? Of course,
did indeed. He did indeed. So that's another.
So that's an original. You held that one. That's from 1977. So, for example, that looks in really good nick. It doesn't look like it's been washed. It doesn't look like grey white. So how does that come into your collection? What happened?
So that one came into my collection in my shop. Someone came in and asked, "Do you buy shirts?" Yes.
Yeah.
I've had these 2 England shirts in the loft for a very long time.
Wow.
And I was very pleased.
I take it was in a bag looking at that. If there's anything like my loft.
Yeah. And both of these shirts came from that same gentleman.
And so what?
Really nice.
What would they be? What would that one be worth?
This one.
That's the 82 one. Yeah.
So
the blue and red and the white across the top. Like
so this is what we call a fan version. It's probably polyester. The players wore cotton.
Yeah.
This one would be sort of £400 upwards.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So, what did it cost at the time? Can you remember? In 82, was it about 12 quid or something?
Yeah.
Bad investment.
Yeah,
that's true. So, I suppose the takeaway really is keep some of these shirts because they might be worth more than you think.
Yeah.
So, beyond England shirts, some of the more iconic ones. I was interested to read that the Baggio shirt from when he missed that penalty in '94, that World Cup is quite a collectible if you've got that Italy shirt.
Well, pretty much any player worn shirt is worth something, but when you get something linked so iconic, I mean, the most expensive shirt that's gone to auction in the world was Maradona's Hand of God shirt, and you know, we know that.
Look, Peter Shilton might have bought it to burn it.
Well,
I don't think you could afford it.
Peter Shilton's shirt from that game is up for auction next month.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I don't think it'll achieve what Maradona's did, but I think it'll.
If I bought the one off Steve Hodge, the Maradona, I'd want the other one to go with it.
Yeah,
side by side.
Yeah, that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Other ones. What are the other kind of classic ones from over the years?
So Brazil '94 is a classic. You can pick up the '70s Brazil shirts quite easily because they sold so many in South America around that region at the time.
They were those sort of slightly more heavyweight cotton shirts, weren't they? That was an Umbro shirt, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally plain. Round collar and the badge.
Yeah. Because England wore a kind of AirTech shirt in that World
Cup. I
Cup.
remember Brian LeBone, the late Brian LeBone, great player, showing me his actual shirt. That he had
It was like a sort of tea bag, wasn't it? It was a weird. Yeah. Did the Brazilian players do something similar? Did they have a kind of light? Was it a kind of light material?
Yeah, a lot of sort of from the '70s onwards, there was that development. I mean, you know, you go back to the 30s, they were wearing woolen jumpers.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Well, even those ones in the late 60s were kind of thick cotton shirts, weren't they?
I do own one. I own an Inter Milan shirt from 1953, and it's like a very, very fine woolen material, and that's the oldest shirt in my collection.
Right.
Nice.
And so
I tell you what won't appreciate Pickford's terrible goalkeeping kit.
Oh, yeah. Well, people like the weird. I mean, it's a bit... It's a bit of a...
I thought it was designed by 6-year-old school kids in a nationwide competition using potato prints.
It might have been.
But
I mean, that's from the way they
That's the thing. They don't ask the fans.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, hands up.
Yeah.
I've bought the Pickford shirt.
Oh, you...
Only because I don't love the shirt. I love Jordan Pickford.
Well, we all have.
Who's your team, by the way?
Everton.
Ah, you're an Evertonian. Okay, fantastic.
It's very interesting, this, because fans get very unhappy when the clubs mess about with the kits too much.
Yeah.
Most fans want the original colour and as little as design effects as possible.
Most of all, messing with badges.
Badges, prints, you know, Jacquard sort of prints underneath.
Yes.
You know, nobody wants that.
So which other ones, if you like the look of from this World Cup, which are the ones you think might be worth hanging on to?
Definitely the Curacao away shirt. I've purchased that one myself for my own collection, and the other one that I've purchased is the Mexico home shirt, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a throwback to one of their 90s shirts, so I believe that'll be a future classic. But then you've always got the what I would say the usual shirts that do well. So your Argentina, your Spain, and England. But then you've got to be aware of something happening. So a Cape Verde shirt, for example, getting one of them.
Cape Verde goalkeeper's shirt.
Well, yeah, if you can get it. If you can get the goalkeeper's shirt.
Not easy to
Some
find.
of the away kits are very
well,
nice.
is it Curacao away kit that's really nice?
South Korea.
What was I going to ask you then? So you've got one more England shirt. Just show us that very quickly. What?
So this is the 93 England shirt.
Right.
Again, made by Umbro. We didn't do too well over those years.
No,
but
we
this
didn't.
is a fantastic shirt.
Would that take some value off it as we didn't qualify for the World Cup?
Not really, no. This is a very popular one among collectors because we're going into sort of 93, 95, and there's a lot more availability.
And what would that cost? And what would that?
You probably pick up a reasonable condition one for £100.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's a lucrative market. I take it you've got an online presence as well as your shop, have you?
Instagram, Global Sports Collectibles, and the same, globalsportscollectibles.com for our website. And if anybody's ever down in Brighton, come and see us on St Michael's Row.
Brilliant. All the best. Lovely to see you, Graham. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
very much. There's Graham Stokes there. Our thanks to him. Boxing-wise, DAZN's got Saturday fight nights to come. We've got Ryan the Piranha Garner taking on Italy's Michael the Lone Wolf Magnesi.
I was a predicting animal there.
No, he was. Yeah, he says Scotland are going to win. Yes, so that's a world title shot on the line. Then on June 27th, two princes collide in Brooklyn as Xander Zayas defends his world middleweight title against Jared Boots Ennis. And he can join DAZN Ultimate to watch Ryan Garner get access to 12 pay-per-view events every year, including Zayas versus Boots next weekend at no extra cost.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Simon, from Southgate to Tuchel, was this the front-footed difference that you have been wishing?
Oh, definitely. I mean, for a number of reasons, for the reasons that Brad's laid out in terms of the substitutions, from the manner in which this is rock and roll football. This is what we saw with Jurgen Klopp in the second half. Interesting that Tuchel needs to have a reinforcement at half-time, because you would have assumed that that conversation had happened before the game and that they were told to get on the front foot before the game. And England looked quite nervous when they started, and they weren't, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I thought they weren't really at it. You know, I think the performance in the second half, I was sitting next to Brad, and he was saying to me, and I think I'm right in quoting him, is that this is the best attacking performance that we've seen in the World Cup so far, in terms of the way that they put it upon the Croatians. Whatever we may have curated in the media about how old this Croatian team is, Troy was saying to me off air that the average age of the Croatians is 28 and a half, whereas our team is 27. We've been walking around under the impression this is a dad's army, just because you've got Luka Modric. So they're not mugs. You know, I think we could have done better with the goals, but notwithstanding that, you know, whatever lessons we think we need to learn defensively, Tuchel will learn them and they'll make some adjustments. But offensively, if you look at that performance, that is as good as you want an England side to play. It's as good as an England side has played on the front foot for a very, very long time. And you look at it, and 4-2 flatters the Croatians to some extent, because England could have had 6 in the second half. So I think it's a great marker. It's a great start to the tournament. It's what the public will want to see. Tuchel is hiding his light behind a bushel, because I would imagine he was very strong in the dressing room at half-time to wake a few people up, because you saw it, they came out of the traps like men possessed. Yeah. You know, they scored the perfect cure to a goal.
Talk Sport.
It's midday. Good afternoon. Here are your sports headlines. Arsenal start their Premier League title defence at home to promoted Coventry, live on talkSPORT on Friday, August the 21st. Darren Bent calls it a dream scenario for both teams.
For Coventry, it's an incredible opening day fixture for them. But they know it's going to be difficult. But listen, Frank's done a fantastic job there. So he'll have them set up ready to go. But you'd expect Arsenal to win that.
Xabi Alonso's first game in charge of Chelsea is the West London derby at Fulham. There's a full list of the fixtures on talksport.com. Meanwhile, Ipswich CEO Mark Ashton has told TalkSport the announcement of Kieran McKenna's successor as manager is imminent, so watch this space. Harry Kane's told England's Lion's Den podcast he wants Wonderwall to be the soundtrack to England's summer, following the sing-along with fans after the Croatia game.
One of my favourite ever moments, I think, in an England shirt, and especially at a major tournament. I know it's just the first game and we're not getting carried away, but just that emotional connection with the fans. We know how much it means to them. I think they see how much it means to us.
England play Ghana live on TalkSport on Tuesday. Scotland can reach the knockouts tonight by beating Morocco live on TalkSport, 11 p.m. kickoff. And suspended by England post-curfew rules, Ben Stokes is playing for Durham today. England are struggling without their captain at the Oval. Sam Ellard's watching for us.
Yeah, they could do with him here, Will, this afternoon, because England got lots of work to do. 256 for 9. Matt Henry with all 3 wickets this morning, completing his 5-wicket haul. Koch shipping low to mid-wicket on debut. Blundell taking a really good catch, standing up to remove Jofra Archer. And then Nathan Smith with a really good catch at mid-on to dismiss Josh Tongue. So England have got Sonny Baker at the crease, yet to go off the mark. Matt Fisher, though, playing some shots. He's got 19 runs to his name. England 256 for 9, trailing New Zealand by 135 runs.
Overseas listeners can listen to full live commentary on the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel.
TalkSport News.
The Prime Minister says he will fight in any leadership contest after Andy Burnham makes his return to Westminster after winning the Makerfield by-election. There's more with Emma at 5:30.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit, your go-to destination for quality tyres from great brands like Continental. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Some breaking news. Mary Earps has been signed by the London City Lionesses, and the weather: rain in the northwest, edging slowly southeast, drier elsewhere with sunny spells, hot in the southeast, feeling muggy.
Football forecast on TalkSport with QuickFit, a team selection that everyone would be happy with this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
Yes, time to look into the latest World Cup weather with QuickFit. We've been doing this throughout the tournament. As we were saying yesterday, our guest Stephen Morgan from Fox Weather in New York, it's not had the effect so far that we feared it would. But let's hope that's still the case today, Stephen. Good to talk to you again. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, happy Friday, Paul and Andy. Good to see you guys too.
And it is, of course, the United States in action against Australia this evening in Seattle. So what can we expect there?
Seattle is still looking great. Actually, I'm not trying to be biased here because I know we're looking at Scotland, but it's going to be a little warmer for that Scotland game. If I have one game today to pick that's going to feature the best weather, it's in Seattle. We've got partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are going to be in the low 20s degrees Celsius. So we're talking 73 degrees, 74 degrees. It's at 12 p.m. local time. So it's in the afternoon, which is ideal for the Pacific Northwest. So a great day for some soccer there.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of rain normally in Seattle? It's got a reputation as a rainy sort of city.
It does. Yeah. It actually, especially in the winter, it can be real rainy. We have these things called atmospheric rivers, which is a technical term. They're rivers in the sky that produce a lot of rain. We call them ARs for short. But in the fall and winter, those can really rack up the rain in the Pacific Northwest. But in the summer, you kind of get equal shares of rain and storms. We could actually see some rain in Seattle throughout the weekend, but today is looking good. So we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an important one for us and the Scotland fans, of course, because they won't want it too hot against Morocco. We're far more used to playing in very hot conditions. So what's the weather like in Boston this evening?
So the game is at 6 p.m. local time. That's Eastern time here in the United States, which is good because that's coming off of the peak heating of the day, happens around 4 o'clock. But watching those temperatures, we'll have to pay attention to them because they're going to be pretty warm. I mean, in the low 80s. So we're 23, 24 degrees Celsius. It is going to be dry. I'm sure you guys saw yesterday in Boston, the big festival, the Fan Fest, they had to close it down, but Scottish fans still found a way to celebrate ahead of the game yesterday, because there was a threat for rain and storms. We had a cold front moving through, but the one thing, when you get a cold front, the following day is always better. It's drier most of the time. I'll say most of the time, and it's going to be that way today because the front moved through yesterday. So no storms today.
There seemed to be really high winds in New York yesterday. Our old colleague Laura Woods, working for ITV, they were kind of, you could hear the set being crashed around. They're in an open air set in Manhattan, and the wind seemed really high, Stephen.
Hey, we're wild. We have wind alerts, wind advisories that our local National Weather Service offices can issue, and we had those through the interiors of the Northeast. I don't want to make it about me, but I've got this privacy panel outside on my terrace. I came home and it was knocked over. That thing was heavy too. I hadn't seen that thing fall over, so it wasn't as bad as this TV set, but it was a windy day in Manhattan yesterday.
Yeah, you'd see that. Brazil, Haiti's been played in Philadelphia. What about this one?
That game is actually a later start than the Scotland game. It's going to happen at 8:30, so even better. Temperatures are going to be a little cooler, but we could still be on the warm side. So we're still looking 21, 22 degrees Celsius. So it's going to be one that we'll have to pay attention to. I mean, dry weather is the theme again. Today we had it yesterday where these games that were played were dry, and we like that. So having that front move through the Northeast, Philadelphia, which is where Brazil and Haiti are playing. If you drive to Boston, it takes about 3.5 hours or so. So pretty close.
Yeah.
It's going to be real similar to the weather that we have in Boston.
And likewise, further down the coast, we're talking about Seattle. San Francisco can get a bit chilly, as you often find when you go there, get caught out. What's that going to be like? That's Turkey, Paraguay, finally.
So, and that's a late game. That's going to be late for you guys too. 8 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah. So it's one of the later starts. Weather is also going to be cooperating. We have dry weather. Not worried about that game either. Temperatures are going to be in the low 20s too.
Excellent, brilliant, Stephen. Have a great weekend. We will catch up with you on Monday. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
There we are. Stephen Morgan there from Fox Weather in New York.
What's a privacy panel? Have you ever had your privacy panel blown off, Mrs.? What is it?
Well, I suppose it stops somebody who's on the other apartment balcony seeing in.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to walk around in your Grundy scratching yourself, Andy, which I know you are prone to do, much like Stephen does, you don't want the neighbours looking at you,
That's
do
very
you?
true.
So you put up a little I know you like to walk around sort of completely naked, smoking a pipe. So you definitely get privacy panels all round.
Good.
So there we are. Thanks again to Stephen Morgan from Fox Weather in the USA. That was our weather update. Thanks to Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with Quick Fit. Your car's star player you can always rely on this summer. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Here's a man with a privacy panel built into his trousers.
Oh, what a thought. It is Rupert Bell, not with Lizzie Kelly today, but I mean, obviously not rocking the kind of frocks that Lizzie would. Is Louis Stewart, fellow jockey, or maybe you have, Louis. Maybe you've gone for it today. Maybe you've worn something from Lizzie's
a
collection.
lovely hat. I can see it. Beautiful.
Oh, I've not quite got that far yet. There's a lot of information to take stock of there, I have to say. And me and my privacy panel, or whatever I'm supposed to be having around me. But anyway, no, Louis has stepped up to the plate today as Lizzie has gone back to darkest, deepest Devon. But it's lovely to have Louis, who actually, I'm going to big him up here, in 2021 rode more winners for the Queen than any other jockey that year.
Wow,
not necessarily at Royal Ascot, but he did. He was a prolific winner for the late Homage.
We see, Louis, that we see that.
Louis,
well, I don't want to big it up too much, guys, but yes, that was true facts, and I have ridden a couple of Royal winners at Ascot, not the Royal Meeting. But a big pleasure in my career.
You must. I mean, it seems that she caught lots and lots of people out over the years. We've all seen it in The Crown now, but the late Queen's knowledge of racing was something special, wasn't it? Were you ever blindsided when you had chats with her about it?
So I met her a couple of times. But there was a funny story that the horse I won him for at Ascot a couple of times. I won a listed race for Her Majesty at Chester, and she come around the yard at Sir Michael Stout's yard one time to come and look at the horse, and he was very naughty, shall we say, and he reared up and got loose, and they were trying to hurry her back into the car, and she was firm to stay put and watch this naughty horse run round the yard loose. So she was a great horseman, guys, and a woman that was very magical to be around, and she has such an aura about her with immense knowledge to horse racing.
Louis hasn't told you the story when he met her at my brother's yard. Explain.
So Michael Bell actually made me sweep the yards, but in hindsight he made me sweep the yards. I think she thought I was a yardman at the time, until I was sweeping the right part of the yard and managed to bump into her, and very kindly did I get introduced to her, and a small but not very firm handshake off Her Majesty, and a lovely woman with incredible knowledge.
Well, you got away quite lightly, because she once saw Rupert after he fell over and cut his head, and she said, "Why is my trainer's brother covered in blood?" So she obviously thought he was a drunk, so she wasn't far off.
Well, she actually said, "What's drinking?" She already knew that I'd probably be drinking. Anyway, so yes, and she actually thinks I'm a complete, absolutely reprobate, because after Big Orange won, of course, my son then accused me of telling her to her face that this is my father who slept in your car park last night.
Great stories there. So what of the racing today? Is the Commonwealth Cup the big feature race, Rupert?
Actually, it is, with Venetia Sun the hot favourite. But yesterday we saw the most magnificent Gold Cup with Scandinavia beating Trawlerman.
I watched it. It was a fantastic finish, wasn't it?
Oh, amazing race. And Aidan O'Brien, I've just got to pay tribute to him. 100 Royal Ascot winners. An achievement, when Geoffrey Boycott got 100 hundreds. This is just an extraordinary sporting achievement. And he can look now, in the coronation, he's got the top two in the betting, Precise and True Love. And who's to say with other runners that he won't be inching closer to 200. He's only 56, and he's probably got another 15 years at least training. So who's to say that he won't get to 150, maybe more? He is just a genius. And the Coronation Stakes, I think, is I expect him to win that race.
Another one from Ryan Moore, of course, is jockey Louis. That was a great performance by him, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Ryan is the ultimate professional, and from any jockey's point of view, you always admire what Ryan's done in the sport. And it's one thing, I'm sure footballers say the same, that it's probably easier getting to the top, it's harder staying there. So Ryan, what he's achieved, he would never boast about it, but he's always been a big supporter of mine. I rode with Ryan at Sir Michael Stout's, and very informative, and I used to ring him up plenty, and always a guy that's good to have on side, because at the end of the day there's no one like Ryan Moore. What he can do in the saddle is like no other.
I don't know if Rupert has drawn you into his vortex yet. Has there been a bottle of something white and cold delivered to the commentary box yet?
Well, I'm worrying why he's got a Pritt stick sat in front of him near his laptop. It's a very odd sight, but he has.
Well, no, it's because that's what I do, is I cut up my paper. I'm trying to learn. There's 35 runners in the first race, 25. Yeah. Then there's another 19 in the second race. And then there's another 30 in another race. So I've got to try and learn and concentrate. So there's nothing alcoholic or distracting me today. And Louis, I don't want to corrupt him.
No,
there's plenty of time.
That's right. That's plenty of time.
I'm looking after him first.
What time are you getting underway today over on talkSPORT 2?
We'll be off just as the Royal Procession arrives down the course, 2 o'clock, live on talkSPORT, and I think we're covering 6 races on talkSPORT 2 today. Louis and I, luckily, are only doing 4, because we can't cope with all of them, because there are so many runners. But another lovely day, perfect weather, big crowd, couldn't be better.
Have fun, both. Thanks very much. Thank you, Rupert. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you. No problem.
There we are.
Dinner away to Brighton.
Oh, yeah, we never got round to we should have got on the fixtures, but times are pressing. So there's Louis Stewart there, former jockey, alongside Rupert in for Lizzie today. Tail wagging a bit, Andy, 258 for 9.
Well, it just shows you.
Fisher's on 21. They're starting to hit out a bit, haven't they?
Well, it's ridiculous that they've waited to this point, honestly.
I mean, if they could frustrate them, what do they need? They need to go over 300, don't they? That's a long way to go, isn't it? Just a bit fortunate Baker riding his luck a bit there, but it's gone for 4. Anyway, back to Sam a little bit later on. We'll be with Shabana Hearn, head of Scotland, Morocco, live on talkSPORT tonight at 11. Stan Collymore joins us. I think he's in Austin at the moment. He was there in Dallas to watch England win. We'll get his thoughts on that and all the fallout subsequently. We'll have some clips of the week for you. Tim Vickery's going to be joining us as well. And we'll talk Brazil, Paraguay, Argentina and more. We're here with our good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
We're talking about that in great detail on yesterday's show about whether or not he should start, how much game time he should have. Because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, I think there's so much pressure on the manager, Roberto Martinez, to pick him, to start him, etc. What's your view on a situation like that? What do you do, Rio?
Well, Roberto Martinez is paid the money to make this decision, and I think it's the way that he handles that it will be key. I think if he was going to attempt to kind of take Cristiano Ronaldo out of the team, I think it's all about the narrative. I think it's all about approaching him and going, listen, if he thinks this is how I'll do it. We've got a better chance of winning it for you coming on with 30 minutes to go when the opposition are tired, when their limbs are all weary, lactic acid is building up in all these players' legs, and they see Cristiano Ronaldo warming up on the side, and you come on and terrorise them and capitalise on that in the latter stages of the games. Do you think anyone's going to be bothered when you lift that trophy as our captain? No. So here we go. You're going to start some games, but then some you're not going to start. But that's part of the plan. And at 41 years old, I'm sure that Cristiano would understand that because, listen, we all know, Benny, you're the same. When we were getting older, things weren't working as quickly, as smoothly as they once were. But there's no denying the guy's potent. When the ball drops in the box, if you had 3 players to the top 3 players in the world for the ball to drop to, he'd be one of the guys you wanted to drop to even still now because he's that potent. He's got almost 1,000 goals. But listen, if it was down to me, I think I would take that same approach I just mentioned there. I'd pull him in and out of games depending on the opponents. And I'd just have to make sure that I talk to him and make sure he understands that. But one thing I would say when I watched him, I think a lot of blame and a lot of people are pointing the finger at Cristiano. I don't think the actual service into him was great either, by the way, or an opportunity to put his way often. I saw quite a few options to play the ball forward, didn't take them options up. And I think if you're going to have him in your team, you've got to find him as often as you can. And they've got great players who can do that.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Yes, time to look at the players that went the extra mile, showed unstoppable power and game-changing performance, Duracell's Extra Mile. And we're going to kick off with Switzerland's Johan Manzambi. He'd only been on the pitch for about a couple of minutes, and he broke the deadlock in a tough old game against Bosnia last night. It was a good finish as well for the first. He went on to score another goal, did Manzambi. So
the two subs and the drinks break really helped.
Yeah, as we said, that was a classic example of the old drinks breaking the momentum of Bosnia, who was just sort of starting to get into the game. But
that first finish by Manzambi was very Eberechi Eze.
It was, yeah. It was a really good sort of controlled volley, wasn't it? So, he's certainly in the mix. And as I said at half-time, if you'd gone, based on what you'd seen in the first half, I don't think there is a punter out there who would have said, I quite fancy a bit of 4-1 at the end of 90 minutes. You wouldn't have seen that at all. But, great performance by him. Turned it round for his team. It's always interesting to see how far Switzerland are going to go. They often go further than you think. In the other game between Canada and Qatar, we're going to go with Jonathan David. He got a hat-trick in it. But it's something... It would be the story of the game normally. Jonathan David scored a hat-trick. But that horrible injury to Ismail Kone as well has completely overshadowed it, apparently. It was a pretty ugly swish, and the player ultimately got upgraded to a red for it. But you could see how upset he was by what had happened. And I think we could all see from the pictures just how bad an injury it was to that former Watford
managers
player.
After Lopetegui.
Yeah.
Jesse March. That didn't look good either.
No. But, for one of the host nations, it's important, really, I think, for the host nations to try and stay in the tournament. And it's looking pretty good. Well, Mexico are through. Canada, you probably say, are through now.
Oh, yeah, they will.
And USA, Australia tonight. And they've had a big thumping win. So
I imagine they'll be through as well.
Keeps interest up in all the three nations. So Jonathan David and Manzambi are our players in Duracell's Extra Mile.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
And Brazil are back in action tonight after that pretty underwhelming opening game against Morocco. Tim Vickery joins us. Hello, Tim.
Afternoon, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. So what's
so late here, though? We don't think we're going to be able to...
It's a bit of a killer from our point of view. 1:30. I'm going to watch Scotland and see how I'm doing after that. But is a bit of trepidation at home, or is everybody quite relaxed about a night?
No. You can't do the Italian method in Brazil. Play your way into the competition, do as little as necessary. You can't do it.
No.
You can't do it. You're allowed to ease off in the third game,
right?
If you've won the first two, but you're not allowed to do no. So pressure is on now. Pressure is on, and Danilo, who I think is going to play right back. I think he's the most intelligent of all of them there. He's very, very clever bloke, and he's been trying to play. Look, please don't expect a massive win, because it's almost like tonight, like. A normal win's not going to be good enough to placate the angry masses who first of all, when the performance was, especially in the first half, was absolutely dreadful. And then second, they've seen so many of the other big hitters really turn up, so it looks even worse in comparison. I don't think Ancelotti is unduly concerned, but he's finding out what the pressure of coaching a nation of 220 million who've been brought up on the demands of success. He's finding out just what that feels like.
Is there a feeling he'll make other changes as well? Because Fabinho, Luis Enrique and Mateus Cunha, there's a feeling they could get involved because Paquetá, Casemiro and Igor Thiago didn't have the best of games, did they?
Yeah, it was a surprise selection anyway. No one in the Brazilian press predicted it. No one. And that's another reason to kind of turn against him. They can't read him. Apparently, the players didn't know until shortly before what the team was going to be. We're told that they know this time, although it hasn't been made public. Yeah, Igor Thiago, I felt sorry for because I don't think his selection made a great deal of sense. So he was a little bit hung out to dry. So I think everyone is expecting Cunha in. Casemiro out would be a big call from him because Casemiro's his man. It's the first thing he did when he came in as Brazil coach was recall Casemiro from the international wilderness. So that would be a big call. And certainly I think they look better second half against Morocco when they had the pitch covered. when they had the right winger, Luis Enrique, wide right, and Cunha. The advantage of Cunha is he covers so much wide left, which frees Vinny, which is the idea of the team. So I think it would make much more sense to have Cunha in. And then you've got the likes of Igor Thiago and Endrick for the bench. And that you've just been talking about the fella from Switzerland who came off the bench and changed the game. I think people off the bench in the course of this World Cup, I think they're going to be very, very important.
Yeah, it's true. Interestingly enough, though, Morocco will have played before Brazil's start, and that could put a bit of pressure. If Morocco beats Scotland, then Brazil not going to want to finish second in the group at all. So that could put a bit of pressure on them.
Yeah, and Ancelotti claims he doesn't feel the pressure at all in any way whatsoever. You know, he says you feel pressure if you're a schoolboy who hasn't done his homework and he's got an exam coming up. I've done my homework. I'm cool. No worries. No worries. That sang-froid, is that the expression? Yeah. That is going to be tested now. And it's going to be fascinating to see. But for the moment, you just a raise of the eyebrow. But I tell you this, some of those players will be feeling the pressure. You know, some of those players, especially the ones who just can't keep away from social media, they will have an idea of what's been said about them back home.
Now, Paraguay also in action tonight, and they've generally been pretty decent defensively. So was that a bit of a shock that they got beat 4-1?
Yes, it was a huge shock. Huge shock. The third goal just on half-time was an absolute killer. They reorganised at half-time, and I don't think they were bad second half. You know, there's an incredible quirk here, because exactly 20 years ago, their opening game was against England. I don't know if you remember this one.
Yeah.
Very dull game, actually. But inside the first 10 minutes, Paraguay against England, Paraguay conceded an own goal, and they lost their keeper injured for the tournament. Now, the goalkeeper who came on, the replacement goalkeeper came on in the first 10 minutes, Aldo Bobadilla. 20 years later, they concede an own goal inside the first 10 minutes. And who scores it? The son of Aldo Bobadilla, Damian Bobadilla. So that's the incredible quirk of fate. Paraguay, always resilient. The game against Turkey now takes. If you're worried about staying up for Brazil, you're not going to be doing Paraguay at 4 o'clock in the morning, are you?
No.
But I think it could be a little cracker, because Turkey lost their first game also without playing particularly badly, and I don't think Paraguay will be absolutely distraught with a draw and then take their chances on a win against Australia in the last game. But they can't lose. So we'll see what they've got about them, because they went into the tournament on a huge tide of euphoria, and the bubble was pricked. Although I think it was striking how bad individually the Paraguayan defenders were, including Alderete of Sunderland, who had a great season, who was just awful. It was dreadful. Had a terrible game. So that was really striking, but they'll be back. They'll be back. I'm really looking forward to seeing their reaction against Turkey, seeing what they're about, what they've got about them. Because I did like the second half. I think after being absolutely blitzed, but they came back quite well second half.
Enjoy the games tonight, Tim. We'll catch up with you next week. Thanks very much.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
There's Tim Vickery, our South American correspondent, and of course all those games, I know you tell you that, are going to be live on talkSPORT tonight. Scotland, Morocco, after USA, Australia, then Brazil, Haiti, and then Turkey, Paraguay. Keep you entertained through the night. Ben Fletcher will be host for those final two matches, of course. Anyway, we're going to check in on Scotland ahead of tonight's game against Morocco with Shabana Hearn. We'll bring you some clips of the week. Then Stan Collymore is going to join us live from Austin, Texas. He was there in the stadium with his flag. He got it in. Canuck England flag, and we'll be chatting to him about what he saw, any changes he may expect for the next game, and more. Before we hand over to Jim and Simon live from New York at 1.
Well, we're talking about Arsenal because the press are talking about Arsenal.
Squeezed Arsenal into a World Cup show.
You're about to hear. Are you Arsenal in disguise? In the Daily Mail. Yeah, we're going there. We're going there.
Who's written that? Is that you? Is that by Laura Cook Francis?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's my first line in the Daily
well
Mail.
Done. Congratulations.
The Nation joins Gunners fans in praise of Rice's corners.
Oh, come on. This is... Benty and I were out hobnobbing with the Rich and Famous last night, or maybe Rich and Shameless, and we were talking to Piers Morgan.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And he asked the same question about Declan Rice's corners, and I'm like, he's just taking the corner, the fella.
Mate, no.
I love Declan. You know that.
Hey,
but unless you've got Harry Kane running onto it, a corner's only as good as the finish.
No, look at Arsenal been doing all season, and people have criticised us for that.
You just bullied goalkeepers, just smashed goalkeepers out of the way.
That's so right. So the hypocrisy here is loud and clear. In the Daily Mail, which I've just messed up there, they're calling it dark arts in praise of the dark arts that England have employed at corners, which we've been very vocal about.
We're not doing those corners at the World Cup.
Yeah,
Declan's doing outswingers.
Did you see the amount? So do Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm saying, but when it's an in-swing, everyone's smashing into the keeper. These are outswings. Harry Kane's running onto them.
Now, all the blocks, I saw the blocks the other night, England.
Yeah, so just to be clear, corner's good, but corner's not good when Arsenal do it. In-swing are good, outswing are bad.
Unless Harry Kane's on the end of them,
So, safe to say, according to you, and I think I speak on behalf of Arsenal Nation here, I'm not allowing you to enjoy us having corners, if that's all right. So as far as you're concerned, it was 3-2.
I'll speak on the rest of the nation, right? And I don't like your attitude.
I love it.
Yeah, I the hypocrisy.
No, here's what's going to happen. Yep. So you, of course, won't remember, and neither will I, but in 1966, when England won the World Cup, right? Jeff Hurst scored 3 and Martin Peters scored the other one, and Bobby Moore lifted it. And West Ham, for years, were like, West Ham won the World Cup. And this is exactly what you're doing now with Arsenal.
It is exactly what we're doing.
Right.
But
Declan Rice took the corner. Now, I love Declan, so I don't want to say this, but out of everyone that played, who got the lowest marks?
You don't believe that?
I don't believe that.
Declan was very good.
I know.
We have our first qualifier for the World Cup knockouts, and it's the popular co-hosts.
México, México, México. Cerveza, tequila, mucho tequila.
Mexico got a 1-0 win over South Korea thanks to a clanger from keeper Kim Sung-gyu.
As he came to get it, he stumbled, he dropped the ball, and it's been volleyed into an empty net. And out of nothing, completely out of nothing, Mexico have taken the lead.
Meanwhile, Canada are all but through to the last 32, but they've lost midfielder Ismail Kone to a horror injury.
It was right in front of us and everyone could hear the bone snap. So, you know, your heart goes out to him and everybody's a little shaken by the whole experience.
Coach Jesse Marsh was in tears when it happened. Kone's in hospital for surgery on his leg. Canada beat 9-man Qatar 6-0. Also in Group B, Switzerland took a giant stride towards the knockouts, beating Bosnia 4-1. And the Premier League fixtures for the upcoming season are out. You can find them all at talksport.com.
Argentina, but we got John again, and Rob Boyd on the wing, no Scotland, no party.
So just before we bring the clips of the week, let's head over to Boston, and our own Shabana Hearn is out and about with the Tartan Army ahead of kick-off against Morocco. Hi, Shabam.
Hello, guys, acts normal. I got a fitted traffic cone for my head.
Beautiful.
And it's all the gear, no idea, guys. It fits perfectly. How are you doing? You both well?
We're good. How we saw a Bostonian posting. Guys, we're loving you being with us, but why are you putting cones on all of our statues? Now they understand it. I take it it's been a big story over there, is it?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you guys a picture in just a minute, because where we are just now at Scottish House, which is just down near the harbour, there's a beautiful, it's perfect for kids, there's a big giant octopus and an elephant and all that kind of stuff. They're covered in traffic cones. There's not one statue in Boston that does not have a traffic cone on top of it right now. And you know what, I've just been speaking to a couple of locals who work here at the Anchor pub at Scotland House in Boston, saying that, you know, they were a bit like, what's happening? We're confused by the whole thing. Now they're thinking about, I could put a cone on that statue in this area that they've not been to yet. So everybody's really getting involved with it here as well. Now yesterday, out and about all day, we were down by Union Street at the Chowder House, which is like a 200-year-old restaurant. I mean, the scenes out there was just absolutely brilliant. People out playing the bagpipes. Everybody plays the bagpipes, it seems, in Scotland. And everyone just having a really good time, mingling with the Morocco fans as well. So there's a really good energy here in Boston. And I know I feel like I just keep saying that, but it's not an overhype at all. It's so much love it's just been reported to us now that Scotland and Boston and Glasgow and Boston have just been twinned as cities. One of the owners of the pub here just told us. Well, so there you go.
One of the other, apart from the very good behaviour of the Scotland fans over there making friends, has been their incredible optimism, despite maybe the evidence to the contrary, because Morocco against Brazil were excellent. They do have a lot of weapons. It's going to be a tough game tonight.
I didn't think Steve Clarke was that optimistic. I thought it was very realistic.
I think realistic. It doesn't have to be realistic now and again. That is the Steve Clarke way. But are you feeling optimistic, Shabam?
Yeah, you can't help but feel that way, especially when you're here and you're in amongst it and you've been in camp. I mean, I've been in Charlotte with the guys since they arrived here and following them around, speaking to players every day, just seeing their mood. It feels like there's a lot of optimism, and I think if they do play the right way and if they are in control and calm in possession and just have a magic moment, say it is Lawrence Shankland takes a chance, you just never know. My only concern is that sometimes we get a bit ahead of ourselves, and I know I've done that in the past how many times, you know, but I think Steve Clarke was right in his approach yesterday. He is a realist. He sees this team as one of the best teams in the world, so it ain't going to be a walk in the park, but we have had the experience of being here in Boston, going back to the Boston Stadium, the home of the New England Patriots, and having been back there in that zone, it is an advantage for them in a way. One thing just to let you know is they're saying there's going to be these windy storms again tonight around about kick-off, so maybe that'll help Scotland if it blows a ball into our net.
Now, it's very early in the morning.
Oh, look, come in. We've got Struan, our bagpiper, here with us as well, guys. Do you just want a tune in a minute? Because I can sing Flower of Scotland live if you would like.
What's he going to play for?
The worst sound in the universe.
You old.
Struan, come in here. But poor Struan, guys,
I'm afraid we've lost the line.
Where are you from, Struan?
Just outside Edinburgh.
Just outside Edinburgh. All right, Flower of Scotland, take it away before you guys do your clips of the week. Let's do it, okay? Ready? And go. Scotland, when will we see your lights again?
2-0 Morocco.
Jacob.
Is it? Thank you, Shaban. Thank you, Struan. God, you're an old curmudgeon, you are.
It's the worst sound in the universe.
You get worse with age.
I hate that sound.
The worst sound in the universe.
Honestly, it's terrible. I don't know why anybody likes it. It's awful. Don't you think?
What I love about you, Andy, is that you just always enter into the spirit.
Yeah, making friends is where
making Andy Jacobs. If you want an antidote, the Tartan Army, send him out there.
No, I bet a lot of people feel like I do. I bet they do.
Anyway, thank you, Shaban. That game live on talkSPORT, of course, tonight at 11 o'clock.
No, I just mentioned this very important.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
A predictive heifer.
You are?
No. 2-year-old Senga has backed Steve Clarke's side to reach the quarterfinals of the World Cup. This psychic cow from, it's a Highland heifer. I can't see where exactly from.
Highland heifer.
Yeah, it sounds like a load of bull to me.
Yeah, there we are. Well, we'll find out. It's time for the clips of the week.
Talk Sport clips of the week.
All fresh produce from a week or so of the World Cup. We kick off with our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, painting pictures with words following Curacao versus Germany.
You asked me how many Curacao fans were in attendance before the game. There was quite a large pocket away to our right-hand side, behind the goal that Germany are attacking. The limbs amongst that section of supporters is a memory that is going to live long in the memory.
Yeah, a memory that lives long in the memory.
Where else can it live?
Exactly.
Let's get some shock news for travellers now from Tom Clayton.
And long delays at EU borders for British holidaymakers could last 2 years.
Well,
Blimey.
It's a long delay.
I mean, like a couple of hours you could take. 2 years is a bit. Equally surprising was this from Emilio Beltrao.
And Sir David Attenborough could soon be getting a national monument. MPs are going to debate the possibility of building one this afternoon.
Can't be up to much if they're going to do it in an afternoon.
Yeah, balsa wood, I think.
Normally it's a bit more planning that goes in, isn't it? Wow, what about that? Next, Andy.
Here's Sam Ellard reporting from the cricket.
It went into Jordan Cox's hands and came out. That could be a Dropley cost for England.
Yeah, a Dropley cost. And there was Sam channeling the legendary king of gobbledygook, Stanley Unwin. What do you mean you've never heard of him? Ask your granddad. Let's give you a small sample of Stanley Unwin's genius.
Goldie Lopper's trickly hair in the early Mouldy, and she fallop down the steps. Oh, unfortunate for cracking of the eggers and the sheeps and the battery fall fallop and graze the knee clappers. So she had a Vasalubrious, rub it on and a quick heely huff, and that was that.
That was his act.
Yeah, Dropley cost.
That was his Dropley cost, Deep Jolly Folly in the Thunderbolts. That was his act.
I know.
Yeah. What's next then?
That was entertaining.
It was very good. Look, the producers laughing away. Look, the kids love it. Gen Z loves Stanley Unwin. If he wasn't dead, I'd say bring him back.
It'll be in a revival.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get some poetry now from TalkSport's resident laureate, Gabby Agbon-Lahore.
Even though Canada only got the draw, they deserved a lot more. They're the two teams that have shocked me better than what they thought they'd be.
Just lovely, wasn't it? That was a beautiful bit of business. Wow. This is Shaban Hearn and Tony Cascarino, and we think Cass may have come up with a format tweak to one of TV's best-loved programmes.
Do you ever watch the Antiques Roadshow when they...
Yeah, I've done.
They find out how
I
much
do love it. Yeah, it's
something's
great.
worth,
When people find out what they've won, it's brilliant. You know, it's just brilliant.
Didn't think it was a quiz show.
It's what you could.
What about that? To say it's a Queen Anne roll-top desk, and you've won it. It's fantastic. It's worth 24 grand.
Yeah, but I brought it in to start with. It's brilliant.
So, what's next, Andy?
It's back to the news now.
Emma Cohen's here with the news headlines.
Thank you, Paul. I don't feel angry and I don't feel bitter.
Well, that's good. That's a good way to start the day, Emma, when you've just started your shift. Well, thank you for telling us that. And Amelia's back, this time with a political story.
Next, the US Vice President J.D. Vance admits a number of issues in the US-Iran peace deal still need to be ironed out. That's despite Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Clump. I suspect quite a lot of people would like to give Donald a clump, really, wouldn't they?
I love the fact that Amelia's mother heard it and to send her a text.
Yeah, so Donald Clump being trolled by her own mum. Well done, Jackie.
So,
what's next?
Scott Minto now sounds like he's planning a move into stage hypnotism.
Yeah, good old Scott.
You make sure that your body is turned and you're touch tight. So you quickly swivel head. Ball and man, look at the ball, look where the corner flag is, look at the ball, but look at the man, look at the ball, look at the man.
Look into my eyes, look into my eyes. Look around the eyes, don't look around the eyes, look into my eyes.
It's exactly that.
It was. And finally, it's Carry On TalkSport featuring Max Rushton.
I'm still hoping we get 5 minutes with Barry if he gets up for a wee or something, you know. Just
yeah, I mean, he's in we do have separate bathrooms, so he's not going to just stroll in the back door there.
That's a shame.
Well, there we are. For
Yes.
We should thank Phil Barwise, John in Falkirk, Barry, Ed Salim, Eli, or is that Ellie? Scully, Gavin Slater, Robert Calderwoo. I think maybe I left a D off of that. Sean and like Colin Calderwoo. Always great at Halloween. Sean and Will Graham. They all suggested clips that were played this week. If you hear something you find funny on TalkSport, any of our sister stations between now and next Friday, talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J. As always, we need a day and a time when you heard it go out, so we've got a fighting chance of tracking it down. And if it's played, you will get a credit. It's available as a podcast. That'll be out in about 15-20 minutes' time. We want to hear those back and some previous clips of the week. And the H&J Daily with some of the best bits of this afternoon's show will also be available in the next half hour. Coming up next, It is Stan Collymore live from Austin to reflect on England. He was in the stadium. We'll get his thoughts on what he saw and where we go from here in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobuilderswarehouse.com.
Talking about Jude Bellingham, because of his talent, because of his ability, Kyle, he's often the focus of attention, isn't he? I mean, tell us, I mean, you've been in the same dressing room as him. What's he like as a person?
No, he's good, and I think he carries a lot of weight on his shoulders for such a young boy. I think people probably forget how young he is. Obviously, he's gone on from leaps and bounds from Birmingham City to Dortmund to now playing for, one of, if not the biggest clubs in the world. But I was saying it before, I think Morgan Rogers is a great player. I played with him at City. He's done unbelievable for Villa. But I just think in them moments, Jude Bellingham probably pips him just because of the big game moments, and last night proved that.
Yeah.
How good is he? Because you've been in training with him, you played with him. Because when we watch him, I just see someone who can score left foot, right foot. I see someone who can get box to box, good in the air. Looks like the complete player.
Yeah, I think, he's an all-rounder. He can tackle, he can defend, he can attack, he scores goals. As you just said, left, right foot, he's got an engine on him. Is he a silky number 10 that we're probably used to seeing in the Premier League? Probably not. He's more of a powerhouse, but, in these conditions that they're playing the World Cup in like this, it could work to our advantage with having him, Declan and, Anderson, that all have good engines on them and then can get up and down the pitch.
Does it ever get to him, the sort of criticism that he gets, the media attention that he gets?
I think probably it does. I think probably it does some way, but I don't think you can let it get to you. I think when you're a big football player like that with a name that you've got, obviously you're going to hear and you're going to see. People are going to tell you what people are saying, but you have to take that pressure. You're Jude Bellingham. You're Jude Bellingham, and you've got that pressure on your shoulder. You're playing for Real Madrid and also representing England in a number 10 jersey, so you've got to deal with it.
We've seen a few months ago, there were journalists saying that he shouldn't be involved because there was reports that Jude Bellingham.
Hello, I'm Matt Forder from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
We finish up today heading for Austin. Keep Austin weird, they say, and then keeping it even weirder is our very own Stan Collymore. Hi, Stan.
Paul, Andy, very good morning to you. It's just gone 10 to 7 in the morning here, and yesterday in Austin it was the hottest day of the year at a very, very sultry 117 degrees.
Oh, Stan. It's a good city, though, isn't it? It's a really good spot.
Absolutely love it. Chose Austin because obviously it's certainly a 3 hour. It was a 3 hour drive the other day up to Dallas. Keep Austin weird, as you said, Paul.
Yeah.
Is a nod to, it's a very young city. I mean, I literally drove around yesterday and I didn't see anybody under, they've all got their lattes and running around in the little New Balance trainers, and everybody seems to be between 28 and 32. Lots of the tech companies here, Google, literally staying in a hotel across the road from Apple's headquarters. They moved here for good tax rates. And it's very young. Lots of independent businesses, coffee shops, boutiques, hence the keep weird, not wanting to sort of bow to corporate America, if you like. But yeah, fantastic city. The Capitol building, the Texas Capitol building, probably go down there today. Absolutely wonderful. Pretty much similar like the Capitol in Washington, if you know what that looks like. Big dome, huge imposing building. And it's been really lovely to walk around. Clean, looks very safe. There's a gorgeous Colorado River that runs through it. Having an absolutely lovely time at the moment.
Well, the Austin Tourist Board would have certainly loved that. Stan, so you watch a lot of England. You travel to watch a lot of England. How different? How was that a big statement performance? Did it feel like that for you the other night?
It did in the second half. Interestingly, went into the media centre, saw the skipper, Stuart Pearce, and Jim, obviously, were doing comms, and Faye gave them all a cuddle and said hello to them. And the pervading move pre-match was, a lot of the media had been briefed that Madueke and Gordon were starting, not because they were excellent in the friendly games and not because Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka weren't the preferred starters. It was more that Madueke and Gordon were there to grind down Croatia, one of the oldest teams in the tournament, and then Marcus Rashford and Saka, Rodgers, Jed Spence, as we saw, would come on, add pace, add intensity at some part of the game. The other side of the game, defending, was a worry. And I'm being perfectly honest now. If it was, Dembele, Doué, Mbappe playing against that England back four in the first half, we could have been looking at a bit of a hiding for as good as we were going forward. Nico O'Reilly needs to do much better at left full-back in terms of his defensive duties. Better communication between Aston Villa's Ezri Konsa and John Stones, and Reece James needs to be a little bit tidier as well in his passing. I thought sometimes he was a little bit wasteful. So whether Mark Gay comes in and partners either Stones and Konsa is one of the big question marks. I love the fact that Jude Bellingham, if there were any questions before the game about his efficacy as an all-round midfielder, that was dealt with, because not only did he get forward, gallop forward and score a fantastic goal, but he got back and made challenges. He ran the midfield at time and allowed Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson to pivot between themselves. Rice would sometimes get forward and join in. Sometimes he'd be picking the ball up off the back four, and likewise Anderson. So I'd say the forward department of the team, and in terms of options coming on, a 9 out of 10. The rear guard at times a 5 or a 6, and we've got to marry both together to be able to make a performance that is going to be a sort of 8.5, particularly if we get out of the group, and if we go to places like Mexico City and play one of the hosts. But overall, look, glass is more than half full. Thomas Tuchel made the very positive changes, Paul and Andy, as you've seen, and it came with very positive outcomes. So that's the first game. Usually England nick it by in a World Cup by, get a draw or 1-0. To be one of the teams where lots of fans from other countries are saying, crikey, England looked really good, didn't they? Is a massive bonus going into the second day.
I know you were a little bit concerned about getting your flag in and the match day experience, but I think it was a good one for you.
Excellent, Andy. Firstly, to the city of Dallas, exceptional. I both had my media accreditation, so I went in and saw all the guys and just did a few bits and pieces in there, which was extraordinarily well placed. I then went to the car, took the flag out. We were concerned, a lot of England fans were concerned that the sort of FIFA directives, as with all tournaments, to be honest, don't put it over any FIFA advertising, don't put it over the LED electric boards around the outside. we're one of the countries, the Scots do, the Dutch do, the Danes, when they usually do, they take lots of flags, is that we take a lot of flags. It's a part of our footballing culture where you see Stockport, Huddersfield, Sheffield United, you know, towns and cities around the country. So there's an obvious concern because in the FIFA literature, it said, you know, don't bring flags over a certain size and don't drape them over the advertising hoardings. That leaves very little space. But when we got in, there was two local stewards, and not only did they say welcome, they helped me put my flag up. They helped me put my mate's flag up that's 4 times the size of mine. And his was debuted in Italian 90, this flag.
Wow.
It's legendary. Cannock Villa flag, at first in Italian 90. So all the flags went up. And I've seen on social media, it's like, oh, look at all the flags with all of these kind of, you know, obscure towns. The Americans loved it. Loads of people wanted to come over and have photos. Yeah. When the game finished, put the music on, Wonderwall, Sweet Caroline. Yeah. Everybody was included. The Croatians were singing it as well as the English and the local Americans. And then getting out of the stadium, you know, Wembley is notorious, as you both know. It can take you an hour and a half on an England night or a big game to get out of Wembley. The police and the stewards were straight outside, parking lots opened, straight onto the motorway, straight back to Austin. Wonderful experience.
Excellent, Stan. Look, we'll let you get off to the gym now. You've got up early for us. We appreciate it. Have a good day. Good trip to Boston. We'll catch up with you after the Ghana game. All the best. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. And up the Villa, Brighton away, first game.
That's right. Yes, that's right. That's right. We get back to the domestic matters as well very soon. But lots of World Cup for you this weekend. Kicking off with USA, Australia tonight on talkSPORT. Then Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, Haiti, Turkey, Paraguay. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. We'll be pouring over all the big games and starting to look ahead to Ghana. Hopefully Scotland will be in the box seat and having already qualified by then. So until then, have a great weekend. Jim and Simon up next, live from New York.
I've got to speak to you about England then. Obviously, of course, the result the other day. Really good second half performance. First and foremost, what did you make of the